Hey, all, what's up? Happy Easter if you celebrate it. Um, is Passover happening still? I think. I feel very stupid and ignorant about the subject, so I don't. I think it lasts multiple days. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of the bunny day from Animal Crossing, which I've seen a lot of my friends complaining about. But either way, okay. So Passover is still happening. Cool. Well, happy Passover then, or sad. I don't know the I know nothing about it, so I'm not sure if it's a time where you're supposed to be like sad and contemplative. Maybe at the end you're happy. I don't know. But either way, I hope it's going well. AC Bunny sucks. Yeah, I don't play Animal Crossing, but I've seen a lot of people just being like, "Fuck that bunny." I don't know. I hate him. There's eggs everywhere. Why are there so many eggs? Um, I feel like I would also be frustrated at the bunny if I was playing. Uh, but I think eventually I'd warm up to him, which might just be Stockholm syndrome, where at the beginning you're just like, fuck this guy. And then you hang out with him more and you're just like, he's just trying to spread some cheer. Okay. I was a mascot. I get it. I assume it's a costume because everything that I've seen drawn of the Animal Crossing bunny for Bunny Day seems like it's just like a plastic, like it's like a fursuit. Like it's like an animal wearing an animal costume. I don't know. Oh, hell yeah. Megaz 900, thank you so much for the follow. And also, oh, we're getting a bunch. Let's see. Executioner 805, thank you so much for the follow. And Green Tea NB, thank you so much for the follow. Hell yeah, we starting the night off with some follows. Thanks, buds. How you doing tonight? I'm doing well, thank you, Cucumber. I'm enjoying some coffee that is supposed to taste like peanut butter and jelly, but all of the coffee just kind of tastes the same to me. But I'm also one, an idiot, and two, I just drown it in milk and sugar. So it's definitely not the ideal conditions that you're supposed to consume the coffee in. But to me, it all tastes the same. Mm. He also calls you kid. Hmm. Yeah, I don't like that. There's one instance of kid that I change. When I am singing the song, there is the song "Nobody Needs to Know" from the last 5 years is one of my audition songs, and or actually, it's not. It's rather, it's not an audition song. I don't think I'd use it for an audition. I think I would just do a performance of it. So I sing it often, um, especially now that my voice has dropped to a level where it's comfortable. I want to be able to like stretch and stuff. And the first line of it is it's about spoilers for the last 5 years, the musical. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't, very much recommend it. It's heartbreaking and confusing, but once you understand what's happening in the story, you're like, oh, okay. Um, it's on Netflix. They remade it a couple of years ago with Anna Kendrick and Jeremy Jordan. And I like both of them in the roles, but this song specifically is about he's just cheated on his wife, and he's waking up in bed next to the girl that he cheated on his wife with, and the first line is, "Hey kid, good morning. You look like an angel. I don't remember when we fell asleep." And I do not like that. I don't like it. I don't like waking up next to a woman and calling her kid. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't care what the age difference is, so I switch it to girl. Even though girl, calling a woman girl, is also just kind of like feels bad. It's infinitely better than kid, and it's one syllable. So I will switch it. I don't like it. I don't like it. So now I'm just picturing you waking up in bed next to the AC bunny, and he's like, "Hey kid, good morning," and you're like, "Nope, don't like it. I don't like it. Don't like it." Mm. This shit is good. I like it. I was gonna say it's bananas, but that's not. It would make more sense if I had the Banana Foster coffee, which I didn't. I had that the other day and it was good. I want to fuck that bunny too. Wait, what were you? Were you talking about Zootopia? Yeah, no, we were just we were talking about Zootopia. Zootopia's so good. He says kids nowadays have it easy. Bunny sucks. Oh fuck, that bunny's got big boomer energy. What the fuck? Oh no. My roommate wanted to make tiramisu, and even though he had enough time to look up the recipe, it couldn't take an extra minute to confirm what mascarpone was. Ah, damn. Yeah, no, I've made tiramisu from scratch because it's one of my favorite desserts. And yeah, you gotta get the good the correct shit. But also like it's quarantine, no rules. If you got something that's kind of like it, you could just fuck it. You know, just throw it in. Worst case, it's all sugar. Seeing that as well as you did makes that bit even worse. Yeah, it's even worse when the person can like make it sound palatable. It's kind of like thank you by the way. It's kind of like I've been working on my original series a lot lately, and one of the characters that I'm writing for is this guy who gets a career rapping on a YouTube equivalent. I think I'm calling it TubeU or something silly with like two umlauts over the U. And it's like from Sweden. But just I'm just spitballing, just like I just put like a name there just to fill it in because sometimes you just want to get an idea on the paper, but first you have to put an explanation real quick, and you're like, "Don't worry about it. We'll fill it in later. Right now, I just want to focus on writing this." So I wasn't too focused on the name, but that might change. But I'm writing for this, YouTube rapper basically, and it's made me have to listen to a lot of the rap that is on in the mainstream. And boy, let me tell you, are the lyrics very bad? I've written for rap and I've written for songs and stuff like constantly. I've completed like two rap albums that I just haven't mixed and haven't completed and haven't put out in the public. But I'm very familiar with rap, and that's why I usually don't listen to a lot of the mainstream stuff because it's just like cringy and just like it's not good. It's not good, but the song itself, the beat is like very catchy. So you'll find yourself bopping to like you're like fuck this slaps, and then you listen to the lyrics and he's talking about just a blowjob for like 5 verses, and you're like I didn't know. Okay, now I can't listen to the song the same way again. This is fine. But I'm finding that in a lot of like G-Eazy. I listened to one of his albums all the way through, and I fucking hated the guy. I was like, this dude sucks. Are you kidding? He's so mean to women in his fucking songs. Then the second to last song, he goes into this bit about like fuck Trump because he's promoting white supremacy and like he's racist. And I'm like, oh shit, what is happening here? And then he keeps going and he starts talking about how like he was saying a lot of like progressive things like that I just wasn't expecting because all of his other songs were just like very very not good to women in particular. But then he was like, yeah, we all have to like unite to fight against hate because if you're trans or gay, no matter like who you are or what you're doing, like we need to fight the hate with love. And I was like, what do I stand G-Eazy just because of these like this one verse in this one song? I can't, right? Because all the other songs are just so mean. I can't. What is happening? But it's very easy to just lose yourself in like, oh, I like this. The song beat itself is like very catchy and good, but then the lyrics are just very bad. But yeah, I'm writing something right now that is the worst thing I've ever written. It's a song where I had to get into just like I was like, what? I want to make a parody of just the most misogynistic, like gross shit. Um, Talking about women, and I'm writing it, and it's I forget how you measure bars. It's been a while since I've written rap, but I don't know how to. I think I'll just say it in seconds. I think like I have like I want to say 30 seconds of it done, and it makes me physically cringe. It creates a visceral like reaction in my body where I'm trying to practice it to get the beats out correctly, and I literally just go "Ugh." Like I it feels bad. It feels very bad. But that's good that you that I can create something that creates such a visceral reaction in me. It's gonna be difficult for me to make the scratch track for whoever gets cast in the role, but like Jesus Christ, I'm not having a fun time with it. But I love writing songs, so I'm enjoying the technical aspects of it of getting to just rhyme things, and just I like constructing it. It's the worst thing I've ever written, and I hate it. But I'm glad it's coming out well because I want to finish it and then never look at it ever again. Um, my goal is to like I said, parody the kind of songs that are just like the lyrics are so cringy, but the beat is very good. Um, and if I do my job correctly, people will want to listen to the song and then feel bad about it. Like I want you to be like, this song sucks, but then continue to listen to it because that's the you know that's the reality of the rap industry right now. Is the rap industry is very at least I'll have to do some research on it now because like 5 years ago at least it was very homophobic. Like there weren't any mainstream gay rappers or anything, and now you have Lil Nas and Lil Fag and like these people who are actually putting forth a positive image and being like, hey, the rap industry is very homophobic. You know, this sucks. I like Elijah Daniels. I don't know if you know of him, but he made it started as a parody, I believe, where he made a rap name called Lil Fag, Phag, and that's kind of him like owning the word because it's been used the F slur itself has been used as a slur against him for his whole life, and he was like, no, I'm kind of like this is me. I'm going to be extremely gay. Like I'm going to put it in your face. If you're going to like make fun of me for it, like fuck it, like I'm going to write a whole song about fucking your dad. Like he just did that and I was like, okay, cool. All right. Um and God, why did I start talking about that? I don't know. I don't know why I started talking about that, but I like what's happening in the rap industry more recently, um, because there's a lot of homophobic shit in mainstream rap. I forget the name of. I was listening to some rapper recently. Let me see. Joyner Lucas. I really liked Joyner Lucas, but then I can't um I can't see a rapper the same way again once I hear one of their songs where they have a fuck you straight lyric in it. And I got to that point where he's like, he was talking about like, I'm gonna have sex with a lesbian so good that she turns straight. And I'm like, I don't like this. This is bad. I can't listen to your music anymore. Sorry. Most things I can like it sucks to say that I can get past some things because it's kind of like that gif from Community where it's like I can excuse racism, but I draw the line at animal cruelty. And then Shirley's like, you can excuse racism, um, but I can push through a lot of like misogynistic bullshit. But once you get to a point where it's dangerous and where you're like putting ideals into people's heads, that is shitty and unsafe, and you're putting queer people in danger because of things and ideologies that you are like uh, normalizing, then that sucks. And I can't get it up anymore for you, if that makes sense. And I'm trying to like, I love Doja Cat is dope, but she does have a "fuck me straight" lyric in one of her songs, and that sucks. And so does The Weeknd, and he's mainstream, and that sucks. So I believe that like people can change, and that you should like give them a chance to be like, hey, this sucks. And if they give a legit apology and they do make strides to do better in the future, then it's like, okay. And I hope that they are those kinds of people. But it's also who you surround yourself with, because if you don't have friends that will call you out when you do something shitty, um, if you just surround yourself with yes men who are like, everything you do is great, everyone's overreacting, everything is fine, then you don't grow as a person, and and I know that personally because I surrounded myself with people that just were like, just went along with everything that I said or did or wanted, and it wasn't good for my growth, And now that I'm only become friends with people who will like, you know, tell me when I'm doing something shitty, please, because I want to grow and change as a person. But I keep losing the thread of why I start talking about these things. I guess just the rap industry is getting better because you have these shitty things that happen, but then you're also having these other people that are like, who are queer and putting themselves out there and being like, this is my music, this is what my shit is about, and I hope that continues. Because you also have like Haley Kiyoko and oh fuck, what's her name? Kalani. Yeah, you have people who are uh, queer out there in the rap game, in the pop music, doing shit. Sam Smith is non-binary. We're doing shit. We're doing shit. It's just I wish it was faster, but it's not. And if I can help that in a way, that'd be dope. So I'm just learning more about the industry and trying to do some parallels and to parody some things in my own work to hopefully shed some light on shit. Ugh. Let me catch up with the chat because I talked for a while. Calling the woman you just had sex with kid is fucking disgusting. Yup, it is. I don't like it. I don't like it. Beastars, this utopia that totally fucks. Hell yeah. Hey, Skyte00, thank you so much for the follow. Hell yeah. Yeah, I haven't watched Beastars. A bunch of my friends are in the dub, so I should give it a try. But I don't watch that much anime, surprisingly. I just voice in it, which is silly. I used to watch a lot of anime. And anime is very fun, but once I started getting prelay opportunities, which is cartoons that you do the voice first and then they animate it around you, you start to realize how limiting anime is, and that's fun if you want a certain challenge. It's a different style of dubbing, it's a different niche, and I really enjoy voicing in anime. But once you get the bug for prelay, you're like, oh, there's so much more freedom here. You can improv more. You can, like they're totally different beasts. But I enjoy prelay more just because you get to have more fun with it, I believe. But anime is fun in a different way. What did I just walk into? Oh, I don't know. We were talking about fucking rabbits. But yeah, Zootopia is fantastic. I need to watch it again. G-Eazy sounds better than J.K. Rowling right now. Yeah, no, it's rolling. I think it is. I think it's rolling. I always pronounced it Rowling, but nah, fuck her. Uh, yeah, no, because uh yeah, if you're going by um what's the word? How good an understanding a person you are. Yeah, G Easy wrote a lyric about like acknowledging that trans people and gay people exist and that Trump is racist and white supremacists follow him. And J.K. Rowling is like, trans people aren't people. Keep buying it. I don't give a shit. Buy my shit. So yeah, no, technically G Easy is more standable than J.K. Rowling in the year 2020, and that's sad. J.K. Rowling, you had to fuck up so badly for G Easy to be more progressive than you. How? What did you do? G Easy literally has a lyric about like uh he has many lyrics about just coming in women's mouths. And he's more progressive than you. This is J.K. Rowling, you fucked up, bud. And there's nothing wrong with coming in a woman's mouth if that's what you are both enjoying. So I don't mean to kink shame at all. It's not even a kink. It's I don't mean to be sex negative, I guess is the phrase. As long as two consenting parties are down with it, that's dope. Mm. And I would have to. Yeah, G Easy talks very poorly about women in his songs, but at no point do I believe there's a lyric where he's like, "Yeah, and she didn't like it" or something. Like at least he's down with consent and down with that shit. This is a whole discussion. This is a whole discussion of how J.K. Rowling sucks more than G Easy. How is that possible? How is this even? This is not the discussion I thought I'd be having in the year 2020, but here we are. Quarantine, no rules. J.K. Rowling sucks more than G Easy. I don't. What a weird. What a fucking plot twist. Um. creating the worst creating the worst product you possibly can. Congrats, you're now Chris Brown or Drake or Kanye. A lot of people. Yeah, that's just like a list of what's going on in the industry right now. It's like, I don't think I can ever listen. Like, I guess it's like I was saying earlier. I believe that people can change. It's just like if there's a repeated like, hey, people have tried to get you to change for years and years, and you're not listening to anyone. This sucks. Taking those people out of the equation. Uh, I I just don't think I can ever take Chris Brown seriously as an artist just because he like beat the shit out of Rihanna, like almost killed her. So anytime he's in a song now, I'm like, how is this guy still in the industry? This sucks. And if he had been very outright like, it's such a big deal too. Like you know, if he had been like, I can't even formulate like a an apology. I'm trying to think of like what apology would be. But like, hey, sorry, I almost killed that girl. That sucked. I'm gonna do better in the future. Let's just say sure. Okay, maybe he did. Maybe he gave a good apology. Um, he's still being shitty to women in songs nowadays, and I feel like that's in poor taste. Like you almost killed a girl. You can't say anything like like as bad as you are in songs for the next rest of your life if you want anyone to think that you've changed. You know what I mean? Like it feels bad. It's a bad feeling. And that's ugh. Kanye is such a I said this in a podcast a couple months ago, but like I feel so what's the word? It doesn't make sense to me when anyone who's a person of color is like, Trump isn't that bad. I don't understand because are you just not listening to anything that's coming out of his mouth? Like anything that he's said with his mouth, with his words, because it's directly affecting you as a person. stuff like curing, quote unquote, a lesbian with a good dicking is one of the reasons why I'm not a fan of James Bond. Oh, really? I did not. Is there a thing in James Bond like that, or is it an actor or something? 'Cause I was not aware. Cucumber, yeah, I know what you're referencing with that. Oh, what's it from? It's Hot Banana Stud. Brandon Rogers. I forget what series it was, but yes, I know the a child. Because I saw that in the episode, and then I saw it became a meme, and I was like, that's great. What about when Eminem uses the R word in his hit single Venom? Oh boy, yeah, no, Eminem. It's such a shame because he's some of the stuff that he's written, I would classify as genius. Like 3 a.m. is brilliant, but he's one of those guys that keeps saying, I don't have a problem with gay people, and then just keeps using the F slur. Um, like you can apologize once, and then you just keep doing it. He's like apologizing again, and then he keeps doing it, and then he's like, I'm gonna apologize again, I'll keep doing it. Okay. So I think that he's just an old man at this point, and he is a brilliant wordsmith, but maybe doesn't understand logic, if that makes sense. Blah. Oh, you've never heard me rap? Do I have anything online? Is the question. I don't think I've. Have I ever posted anything online? I don't think so. I started writing rap when I was in. What grade was I? I don't know. I've always had a fascination with it because I like poetry, and rap is rap and songs in general are just basically poetry that you match to a certain beat. And I found that super fascinating. I think I started obsessing over it when I was like 11 or 12, and I would just like memorize rap and practice it, and that's one of the things that I use to warm up when I do voice acting, which is dope. It opens up everything and it loosens up your lips, and singing exercises I also do. I do singing exercises and then rap to warm up before I do big gigs. But I don't think I've actually posted anything online. But I rapped for years and years and years and years, and then I was asked by Shady Vox to do Pony Rock Anthem, and I just kind of did it, and it kind of he said he was blown away because he was like, "Holy shit, I didn't know you could like rap," and it's not my verse in Pony Rock Anthem isn't anything impressive, but I guess just that I'm able to follow a beat with basic competency that people didn't expect. So once he said that, I was like, maybe there's something to this because I had only really done things for myself. I didn't post much of anything online, and so you don't actually know how good you are until someone else is like, "Oh no, this is good. This is a good thing you're doing. You have good instincts. You do this, this, and this correctly." And once you hear from an outside perspective, I was like, "Well, okay, maybe I will work on this." So I kept working on it. Hamilton is super fun to do. I've said it a million times on stream, but it's one of my dreams to like be the first trans actor for Hamilton. So maybe that'll happen one day. I don't think I've actually posted anything online though, not that I can think of. I did horse stuff as vinyl years ago. But I think that's the only rap of me that actually exists online. I saw a tweet that said in like 100 years, J.K. Rowling is going to be seen the same way as Lovecraft is now. Very influential, but with very problematic views. I wonder what her cat's name is. Oh shit. Yep. Yep. That is a very that's a very good what's the word? Guess summary. It's yeah. We're like, cool, thank you for giving us this thing. Now leave, please. 2020. Plague, furry anime, and fuck JK. That's the year. And it's only been 3 months or something. 4 months? Jesus. January, February, March, April. Yeah, it's 4 months. Yeah, I think it's just people who are rich just it's difficult for them to view the world with a realistic lens because your problems aren't the problems that the common man has. I know with the black community, a lot of them don't think Trump is much worse than any other white politician. Damn, what? That is true, yeah. It is abnormal in politics to have a politician that represents that community. That makes sense, yeah. I guess if you're just so used to being treated like shit by white politicians, I guess it does make sense that like you're just like, well, this is another one, you know. Um, yeah. James Bond turns pussy galore straight after having sex with her in Octopussy. Oh shit, I didn't know that. That's disgusting. The only context that I knew for pussy galore was from Rent, because that's a joke that Angel makes. But that's gross. Hey, G-Force, what's up? Yeah, it's an older movie. I think that's one of those things that nowadays they hopefully look back on and are like, that was a bad thing we did. Whoopsie. God, I made Naruto AMVs back in the day. But again, I think it's like my rap and most of my creative endeavors back in the day, I just made a bunch of shit and then I didn't publish it online. So there's a lot of shit that I worked on that just no one will, it won't see the light of day. I made a bunch of different Bobobo AMVs. I mean Naruto AMVs. I wrote Naruto fan fiction. Um, I wrote two rap albums, and just none of it will see the light of day. Uh, I think it's. I was talking with a friend last night. Actually, we had a long, like 4 or 5 hour conversation, just catching up because we hadn't talked in a while. And one of the things we talked about is we both have like this sense of perfectionism, and eventually perfectionism turns into you not doing shit because um, we were working on a song together years and years ago, and he was nervous about like finishing it because as we were working on it, he was like, "Shit, I could do this better. I could do this better." Critiquing himself, um, and was like, "If I don't finish it, then at least I won't have this thing that is done that is not my best work." Um, so we kind of just he kind of just dropped off, and was like the fear of finishing something that isn't 100% your best work. It can control you, and I realized I've done that a lot, uh, and I've tried to get better at that because like once you finish something and it's out there in the universe, people will view it and be like, "Oh, this is the best you got," even if in your heart you're like, "No, it's not." And there's a that can be scary, but eventually you just won't finish anything if you keep viewing it with that lens. Um, so I've started and stopped so many projects over the years, but I'm pushing forward with this live action series that I'm doing. half because I'm confident in it. I believe in the material. It's some of the best stuff that I've written, and I'm very proud of it. But on the other half, I know that it's important to a lot of people because it tackles a lot of subjects that I think we are, as a society, afraid to talk about. And it also has a trans dude main character, which is just not something you see in media. And I never, my friend and I that I was talking with, we have this in common where we don't want to do something that someone else could do. You know, because like, why should I waste my time putting in this effort to this thing that anyone else could do? If I'm going to do a project, I want it to be something like cool and unique and something that only I can do. You know? Not only are there not many trans dudes producing content right now in the context of like live action TV shows, not only that, but also this is a story that's very unique to me, and no one else would be able to do it in the same style that I can. And Last Night is a good what's the word, example of giving me confidence, because he didn't know. I didn't even give him an elevator pitch for what my show is about. I said that I was making a live action series, and he was like, you know, I've seen stuff that you've done in the past and I really enjoyed it, and I have full confidence that this project is going to have legs. And I didn't even tell him anything about it. He was stoked about it because it was something that I wanted to do. And if I throw my weight behind something, it's because I believe in it. So that kind of gave me confidence of like, you know, he doesn't even know what this is about, but he has confidence in me, which makes me feel good, you know. But God, why was I talking about it? What were we talking about? It's like the third time that this has happened. I think I was just talking about perfectionism. Perfectionist turns you into Amy. Yes. Is Amy a reference to Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Because that is one of my favorite shows. I haven't been watching the recent series. I mean, season, because I don't know. It started getting less good for me, which sucks. I look forward to when this series of yours materializes, Jesse. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I can't wait to uh, show it to y'all. It's I've never put this much effort into well, I can't say that. I finished Dark Swamp, all the scripts, you know, and I think that was me battling my perfectionism, because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to produce this whole thing, but I want to finish writing it. I want to materialize it in my head so that I will know what it looks like. Um, and So I finished writing it to prove that I could to myself. And I've seen it all in my head, and I'm like, this is great. This is good. I finished a show, and I'm happy about it. So I never have to like put it out on the internet to make me happy, because I've already seen it, you know, in my head. So that gives me confidence that I can finish writing this show. And I've talked about it on the last couple streams, but it's also kind of on a timer, because I can technically get phalloplasty when I want now, because I've been on T for a year. I've done this, and this, and oh, what was I saying? Oh, but the character that I'm playing in the show is a hey. Uh, you know, we've hung out so many times in real life that I keep not I don't know how to say your screen name, but I'm just gonna give it my best bet. Gajinka. 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 Thank you for the follow, regardless. Yep. Dope. Um, but yeah, so because I can get it whenever I want, but the character that I'm playing in the show is a freshman in high school. I am kind of on a timer. I need to finish season one, and then I can just go make my dick bigger, which sounds dope. Because I've compared it to this in the past, but it's kind of like when you're a freshman in high school, and they're like, you got to start preparing for college, and you're like, it's far off in the future, whatever. I have time, but now it's at a point where it's like, oh shit, you can do this when you want. So when you wanna do this, bud. Uh, so that's very inspiring for me to get my shit done. So right now the game plan is finish writing my stuff, um, or the finish writing season one at least. I have ideas for season two that I'm kind of preparing for and putting off to the side, but I want to finish the script for season one. Then quarantine ends, and that's like the gun at the start, at the starting line. I just got to be off. I have two people in mind for directing. Um, we'll see which one works out. I need help from a friend to secure locations for filming because we have to film inside a school, and I have no idea how you're supposed to do that. I need someone with more experience in the industry than me, on the production side of things. I want me to finish writing it and then co-direct, but for the most part, I need to focus on acting. So I need someone to take the reins and be more on the production side of things. So I need to secure that. I want to consult with a few friends of mine I want a female voice. I want some female writers that I trust to take a look at the scripts because I was raised female, but I still, I'm not a girl, so I do have some blind spots in the writing, that only they can have a perspective that could show me hey, you kind of fucked this up, or this seems a little weird, or this isn't realistic. I want to be able to hammer out all the details, with that, and then I just want to shoot it as soon as possible. Then wrap it, go into surgery, and then season two there's a 3 or 4 year time skip. So I've everything is laid out. I need a modern woman. Oh, what city do you think you'll film in? That's a good question. It takes place primarily in Dallas, Texas. It was going to take place in Philly, but now with my move, I was like, well, shit, I guess I'm gonna mainly be in Texas now once I move in August. But shit, it's supposed to take place in Philly, this, and this. And then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, you know what? Dallas actually is a better location for the story to take place anyway. So I switched it, and so there is one character that's from Philly, and we get some flashbacks from that. And the main character starts the series, the show starts, and he has just moved to Dallas from Connecticut. So there's 3 locations basically. There's one episode with flashbacks and stuff that takes place in Connecticut. There are a few scenes that take place in Philly, but I don't know if we necessarily have to shoot in Philly. And then the series takes place in Dallas. Now, the only issue with this is that the guy that I am going to ask to direct, or one of the possibilities to direct, and help me with the production side of things, is located in LA. And most of the actors that I know are also in LA, and I don't want to I'm going to be funding the project entirely by myself, basically, because I'm going to be doing a fundraiser for my dick, and I know that, I don't want to ask too much of people, So if it's a show of good faith if I'm hey, I'm funding this whole project by myself. Also, can you maybe help me with this thing? It's a lot better than help me pay for this, then help me pay for this, because that makes me uncomfortable. I really appreciate the support and everyone's help monetarily and everything, but I can't ask for too much. I will feel shitty about that. So I'm gonna basically spend all my savings to fund the project, and then fundraiser for Dick later. So right now in the present, because I'm funding it all myself, I don't want to pay. I want to make it as low cost as possible, and I don't want to like uproot a bunch of people from LA to come to Dallas. So I'm gonna ask him if there's a possibility that we could shoot in California, to make it more convenient for all the actors and stuff, and then the camera crew and stuff that I was thinking of hiring, unless my friend has better ideas, are located in Dallas. So we'll see what makes the most sense. As I'm thinking right now, if the locations work out for us, I think we're going to be shooting in California, probably around the LA area. But we'll see what happens. Because I have very specific casting needs that I feel I have a better shot of finding people who are competent actors in LA. The the second main character, like I'm playing Ryan, who is the main character. The second main character is a non-binary assigned female at birth person, and I feel like I would have a bigger casting pool if I pull from the LA area, because I'm just not. I don't know much about the industry in and around Dallas. I know that there is like a film industry there, but I want the biggest pull. So if I feel like I should look in LA first. But I mean, if I find like the perfect actor in Dallas, we can talk about it, because like, if someone's right for the part and I feel more comfortable with them as a scene partner, then you know, I'd like to fly them to wherever, and we can just spend a couple weeks in LA and just like shoot everything. But yeah, hopefully we can do it in California and not have like a ton of tax issues, because like I said, I don't know a lot about the production side of things. I'm more focused on the writing and the acting part of it, and I just want someone to take the reins and make a call sheet, organize things, figure out shoot locations. I need someone to take that, and I will pay you money to do it. So that's the situation right now. I don't know what Bazinga was in response to, but I agree. Oh, am I so tired that I mixed up the main psycho woman's name in Gone Girl? Wasn't that Amy? Amy is the girl in Gone Girl. Yes. I was thinking Amy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, just because I think last night there was. This is a weird train of thought. I've been rewatching 30 Rock. There's a joke about the NBC store. Pardon me. I looked up NBC store just to like see what was up with online stuff, because I was curious. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is one of the shows I think that NBC has. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, yeah, they're on the same network as Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Um, and then I was thinking about Amy, so that's probably where my train of thought went. But that's funny that like I guess Amy's just have this perfectionist uh, characteristic associated with them. Mm. Ooh, you know what? Did I say? Oh no, I didn't. For a second, y'all were talking about freshmen, and for a second I was like, wait, did I say Ryan was a freshman in high school? If I did, then I was wrong. But I think you might be referring to how I was talking about freshman year of high school. People tell you to start thinking about college, and you're like, it's whatever. But just in case that I said that Ryan was a freshman, he's actually a senior in high school. The show starts, and uh, Ryan has just moved to a new state and is starting his senior year at a new high school, and you don't know why, but it's slowly revealed over the course of the show. So, that's how old he is. Oh, RoboCop was filmed in Texas in the summer. Oh, Jesus. It was so hot that all of those scenes where RoboCop is shown driving around in the car are scenes with his actor. He's bottomless, but his underwear. That makes sense if it's so hot. And he's in that costume too, so like, Jesus. How will the series be released? That's a good question. I don't know. Um, I'm fortunate enough that I've been working in the industry for uh, long enough that I have options of people that I could talk to. I have connections at Comedy Central, but I don't want to go that route just because I feel like I'm not going to have control over the project. Uh, I can totally see. I appreciate what they've done with Broad City, where they had uh, they gave the actresses. I'm trying to remember their names. Well, their first names are Alana and Abby, and they've talked about how Comedy Central was like chill with them and gave them a lot of creative control, but I don't want to risk it. I guess I would much rather work with people that I know that are um, what's the word? Just chill. I want to work with some chill people and make a cool thing. Um, the two dudes that I have in mind to co-direct with me, that I'm it's gonna end up being one of them. Um, they're both straight white cis dudes, and that's something that I was concerned about just because this is such a queer show that some people might be like, why is this person directing? But they are extremely woke. They are I wouldn't trust them with this project if I wasn't completely 100% confident in them. They are very vocal. Not just like I support trans rights. That's like they're very vocal about it, and I they make me feel very safe, and I trust them with my life. So this is my life. Remember Borat? It's 2020. Um, because this show is like a part of my life. You know, it is a part of my soul that I am putting out in the world, uh, and I do trust them with it. And I feel like it will be better accepted if I'm like they're not just directing, they're co-directing. So it's like I do have control over the project and the the direction of the series. So I think people will be more cool with that, and you know they are good boys, and I trust them with this. But I can understand from an outside perspective if someone's this is that's something that I was talking with my friend about last night. Is the queer community can tell when people are trying to pander to us. If you have a full project that's just straight white cis dudes working on a queer show, it doesn't usually come out correctly. That's why people are upset about the what is it? There's a video game that's coming out that has twins as the main character, and one of them's a trans dude, and they consulted trans people after the project was basically done, but there were no trans people in the writing room, and that's just going to make it's gonna make it not as authentic as it could be. So I get that reaction when I hear things like that. So I can understand someone from an outside perspective being like, "Hey, I've never heard of these dudes. Why is this happening?" But I will vouch for them. This is a good. One of the guys was actually just both of them. Uh, what's the I'm trying to they both have done very good, very supportive things for me in my transition, and I'm trying to figure out what they have in common so that the experiences have in common, so that I can be like they both did a thing, without being specific. But they both really helped me with trans related stuff, if that makes sense. I needed someone and I didn't ask for their help and they offered it and they stood up. Both of them like stood up in a big way for me, and put a lot on the line to make sure that I was comfortable and happy. So that's good, obviously. Like what's a good adjective for that? It was good. Good is a good adjective. I am, yeah, but God, I was talking about how the series will be released. So if I'm not going the Comedy Central route, I have more creative control over it, and I think I don't know. I might pitch it to Team Four Star, and be like, even if you don't want it to be what's the word, one of your shows, I can put you as a producer if you want to just give me this amount of money to help me pay for actors and stuff. Because I don't. My goal isn't to make a profit with the show. I just want to break even. I just want. There are so many things there's so many ideas and so much creative stuff in me that I don't want to die with me, if that makes sense. I want to make it and put it out in the world, and legacy, all that shit. So if I can just make my stuff, I'll be happy. So if I could just get support from people, like companies like that, that would be helpful. And then you get a producer credit. But we'll see what happens. If probably the best route that we should be doing with it is doing one of those, basically, I think it's Kickstarter, but one of those things where if you support a certain amount, you get your name in the credits and a producer thing and whatever. But because I'm doing a fundraiser for my phalloplasty later, I'm hesitant to do that. So I might just go to companies privately and just be like, "Do you want this thing?" And yeah, we'll see. Because I guess if we do go just like the me route, where I'm just producing it myself, I guess it would just go on YouTube. I'm sorry, but I'm laughing my ass off that out of all the names for your character to be, his name winds up being my dead name. Oh no, I'm sorry. uh, yeah, no, it's funny actually because I usually don't name characters. I let their name come to me, if that makes sense. I write the character and then uh, it just kind of comes to me. And that was one of those where I was like, yeah, it feels right, but it's not like a special quote unquote name. Like a lot of trans people choose like Huxley or like Rainfall or like some things that are like associated with like nature, like dove or like animals or something. And I was like, Ryan, really? That's your name? This character is naming itself? Okay, all right. But it really fits, and every time I think about changing it, I'm like, this is good. It's yeah, I don't know. It's a just an interesting experience. It was coming up with that name. I talked a bit about there's a I don't want to talk about it because it's spoilers for the first episode. So just in case y'all see it one day, and hopefully you will. I don't want you to remember it and get spoiled, but there's a whole thing in the first episode where I talk about dead names and stuff. It's good, and I'm sure you'll find it funny. Right? Yeah, yeah. It was the video game by the Life is Strange studio. Now Jesse has me super curious to check out the creative team behind the super feminist TV show Harley Quinn. That's a good question. Yeah, I feel like let me check on it actually because the Harley Quinn cartoon is very good. And I feel like I looked it up before because I was curious. There are a lot of jokes in Harley Quinn where I was like, I think a woman wrote this, and that's a good feeling, you know. I'm like, cool, hell yeah. Um, oh shit, wait, did season 2 start airing of the show? Hell yeah, I gotta catch up. It took like a 1 month like break between season 1 and season 2, so I knew it wasn't gonna be a long break. No, tell me who's writing this shit. Um, let's go to Wikipedia. It's not always the best, but you know what? It's what we have. It's quarantine. There's no rules. Who's writing this? Give me information. Okay, Control F right. You know, I'm not seeing many women on the list, but maybe they're consulting with women afterwards, which is better than nothing. But honestly, I would be surprised because yeah, you know, I cannot find accurate information on it, so we'll see. Yeah, it's just listing those three dudes, so I don't know, but I don't know. I would be surprised, but if so, if it is written by three dudes, then cool. I'm glad it's good. Hmm. I think that's why I had so much fun with Birds of Prey, is because Birds of Prey was, I believe, written and directed and produced by women, and you can tell. Hell yeah. God, what were we talking about before this? I'm trying to find the right moment to convince my roommates to rent Birds of Prey. Oh no, yeah, they for sure should. I it's one of those things where Harley Quinn, in my opinion, was the best part of Suicide Squad, and the whole time I was watching Suicide Squad, I was just like, I just want a movie that's just Harley. And then once Birds of Prey was revealed to be a thing, I was like, fuck, I'm actually excited to see a DC movie. Okay, um, it was good. It was fun. I think that's just I did a whole video on it, but basically the idea of it was that I just wanted a fun like bullshit popcorn movie with Harley Quinn having buds and swearing and beating up shit, and that's what Birds of Prey is. So, yeah. I want Harley's blue and yellow jacket from near the end of the film. Oh, Harley has such good costumes. I loved it. Just a moment that, and also like, I talked about this in my video, but Margot Robbie is like a perfect Harley Quinn. I am so amped every time I get to see her perform her because like she did so much research for Harley. She like read comics and like watched cartoons and just she really took the role seriously. She learned how to hold her breath for 5 minutes to shoot a scene in Suicide Squad because they had to be underwater for that long. And like watch the Hot Ones episode with Margot Robbie 'cause she's a fucking badass and I love her. Uh, God, I'm so stoked. Like as an actor, getting to see another actor be like very excited about a role and do a ton of research and stuff it gets me excited and you know, inspires me. So I immensely respect her. But one moment that just always makes me very giddy and gives me chills is it's not I'm not I'm trying to say this without spoilers. There's a part in Birds of Prey where Harley has to go to a police station, and it's super cartoony. It's live action, but it's a scene that you could just see storyboarded and put into a cartoon, where Harley approaches and she's dressed like, what's the word that I'm looking for? I keep thinking femme fatale, but there's probably a better word for it. But she has like a scarf over her head and she has sunglasses, like a movie star kind of like thing, and she puts on a voice where she's like, "Oh, hello, you know, I'm here to report a terrible crime," and she like has these sunglasses, and it's so cartoony and so funny. That every time I see it, I've seen Birds of Prey like 3 or 4 times at this point, where every time I see it, I just like I laugh out loud. You know, there's a reaction in me where I'm like, this is so fun. This is extremely fun, and I adore this. Um, and then has she proceeds to just pull out a gun and have like a very fun smoky beanbag gun fight, and it's very good. Yeah, like a starlet, like a Hollywood like starlet kind of thing. It's extremely good. Yeah, if this was 20 years ago, I could see Lori Petty doing it, because I think Margot Robbie is looking into, or maybe she is producing a Tank Girl uh reboot of some kind, which seems like I she'll be great in the role, but for me it's like, is it too similar at this point? Is it too similar to Harley? Is it I know they're different characters and there's different shit for both of them, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Robbie is involved in a Tank Girl picture. No idea if she'll be acting the part. Okay, yeah. Yeah, well, either way, she's she's doing it. I'm stoked because she's, you know, proven herself as a not just competent actor, but also good at the production side of shit. I just wish Birds of Prey had more over the top gore. Like every time a guy gets hit in the head with a bat, his head just explodes. I um I guess the only thing that I'm thinking of right now is like, I'm fine with the level of gore, quote unquote, that that Birds of Prey had. But if you do want more over the top stuff, you can go watch the cartoon, because that is there's there's a lot of over the top gore in the Harley Quinn cartoon that is very good. Some of the stuff in the Harley Quinn cartoon is a little hard for me to watch, but like in a good way, where I'm like, this is for someone. Yeah, it's funny because oh, what was I gonna say? Oh, the movie Ready or Not. I saw the trailer in theaters. I thought Margot Robbie was playing the main character, and I just assumed for a year or two, or however long it took me to actually see the movie, that it was Margot Robbie playing the role. And I watched like I was like 50 minutes into the movie, and then looked up the IMDb because I was looking up a different actor that was in the film. And then I saw that it wasn't Margot Robbie. It was just an actress that very much looks like her. And I was like, "Are you seriously? What?" It's like it's the same shock of this is on a bigger scale for me just because I've seen the filmed stage production of Rent so many times. But you know, I started seeing it when I was like 16 years old, so it's been a while, and only this year did I realize that Idina Menzel is not playing Maureen in it. It's another actress, and it's such a weird feeling to think that an actor is someone for years and years and years, and then find out it's not. I thought IMDb was wrong, and I was very embarrassed that I kept looking at it. I was like, this is not. Why are they crediting this woman as her? It's not. But nope, I was wrong. IMDb was correct. Oh yeah, Bane is very fun. I love what they're doing with the cartoon. It's I would describe it as a woke drawn together, I guess, because it does have that kind of like it's quick paced. There's over the top gore, and it's offensive, but it's not offensive in ways that are like with one. There's one exception where I hope that it's not offensive in the wrong way, but I don't know just because I'm not Jewish. Because the Penguin is um, Jewish in the show. I don't know if he actually is canonically. And there's a thing with a bar mitzvah, and I don't know enough about culture or anything to know if it is actually like offensive. Like they're not poking fun at the correct things, but because the character is Jewish and he's a villain, is this bad? I don't know. Um, I just don't know enough about anything to be able to judge. I guess. But with the exception of that, like most of the things in the show, they're raunchy and they don't really cross a line, which I appreciate. Because I used to really like Drawn Together, and then you watch it nowadays and you're like, no, this is I can't. This is a little too much, um, to say the least. But the Harley Quinn cartoon kind of captures that feeling, and it doesn't make you feel like a shitbag for laughing at it, which I appreciate. Yes, Cyborgman. Oh, I just got his name. Cyborgman. Cyborgman exists, and the show does have several Jewish surnames on the production team. Do with that info what you will. Okay, yeah, it's that's better at least. Because if it was just like a full, white dude Catholic uh, writer's room that was like, what if we made fun of Jewish people? Then it's like, oh no, this is bad. But if it's like we were talking about Lil Fag earlier, like if you are making fun of your own shit, then that's cool. Ugh, man, we've been chilling for like an hour and a half. I haven't even started reading the book. Um, but this is dope. I'm enjoying chatting with you. So I have no trust for DC anymore. Not since Batman Beyond. Was Batman Beyond? Is that the cartoon with Terry or whatever his name was? Yeah, I think I used to watch Batman Beyond. His name is Terry. That's some knowledge that I don't know why I know. You know, one of those things where you watch something as a kid and you have all this info in the back of your head, and someone mentions something and you're able to just recite it, and you're like, I don't know how I know this information, but I do. Oh, Unstoppable was Terry. That's oh fuck, what's his name? Will Forte? Is that correct? Will Forte. I might be thinking of a different actor. No, Will Forte is different. He is. I'm thinking of. What shows are you in? The Last Man on Earth and. Okay, yeah. Will Forte is. He plays a character in 30 Rock, and I had to look him up recently. That's why I'm thinking of Will Forte. Okay. Second guess. Second guess. Maybe his name is Will, and that's where I'm getting it confused. Do I want to wager a guess or do I just want to Google it? Unstoppable. He was also in Young Justice, I believe. Unless I'm thinking of someone else. I have a voice actor bank in my head where I'm like, who is this? Okay. In Young Justice, I'm thinking of the youngest speedster that appears in Young Justice, at least up until season 2 or 3, which is Impulse. Impulse is voiced by someone who voiced Max and also Kovu in The Lion King. Now, what's his name? And then I'll work backwards from there. I know I could just Google it, but I want to just think of it myself because I'm stubborn. All right, fine. Fuck that. Let's go back to Ron Stoppable's voice actor. He was also in Boy Meets World. And if he's also Terry in Batman Beyond, that means... Was he in Young Justice? That's the question. I don't think he was. I don't think he was. Or are they all the same guy? No, that doesn't make sense. That can't be the same guy. I believe Max was also the singing voice of Hercules, but not the speaking voice. I have so many pieces of the puzzle, and I don't have the box to look at the full thing. Oh, this is gonna bug me. I could just Google it. I'm not gonna Google it. Let me think. What has Ron Stoppable's voice actor done recently? Maybe that. I can't think of what he's done something recently that I saw. Okay, what I will do, I will grant myself one piece of the puzzle, which is I'm going to find out who voiced Kovu in The Lion King. Because then it's not Ron Stoppable's voice actor, I don't believe. I think these are two different people that I'm thinking of. But at least if I have someone else's... Okay, Jason Marsden. Jason Marsden is not the voice actor for Ron Stoppable. These are two different things that I'm just connecting in my head. Why? Why am I connecting them in my head? Did they work on something together? Okay, Jason Marsden was Impulse in Young Justice, correct? Let's see. Yes, he is Max Goof. He's also Bart Allen Impulse in Young Justice. Okay, all right. Now that Jason Marsden is not a possibility, what is the name of Ron Stoppable's voice actor? And was he in Young Justice? Is that what I'm thinking of? He wasn't in Teen Titans. Why am I thinking superheroes? I will give myself 20 more seconds, and if I do not think of it, I will Google it. 20 seconds. Okay. Maybe his name is Will. Maybe that's what's fucking me up. I don't know why I'm thinking Will Forte. Because that is just an entirely different actor. Okay. All right. Let's look it up. I lost. But at least I figured out that Jason Marsden and him are not the same person. I don't know why I'm thinking that. Let's see. Will Friedle. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. His name was Will. That's where I was getting it confused. Okay. Well, I half won. So I half lost, but I half won, which is glass half full. Now, Will Friedle, why do I associate you with superheroes? Okay, you're Terry and Batman, but we already talked about that. I did not see the show where he's Star-Lord, but that could have been what I was thinking. But I feel like I've He was Kid Flash, but that's in Teen Titans Go. Were you Kid Flash in actual Teen Titans is the question. I don't think you were. Kid Flash. Who is Kid Flash? Kid Flash did appear in Teen Titans, though. Wait, are you... Yes. Okay. Will Friedle, I kept thinking Blue Beetle for some reason. But then I thought about Blue Beetle in Young Justice. And Blue Beetle in Young Justice is not voiced by Will Friedle. I believe he's voiced by a Hispanic voice actor. And I was like, that can't be Will Friedle. I'm hearing a voice in my head that is not Will Friedle. But Will Friedle voiced Blue Beetle in Batman the Brave and the Bold. We did it. We solved the mystery of why that was happening in my head. Because he was also Blue Beetle in... Was there more? Was there more you were Blue Beetle in? I don't think so, but I think I am remembering that he was... I can hear... Because I was picturing Blue Beetle, and I was hearing Ron Stoppable's voice come out of it, and I was like, that's not correct. Why am I thinking that? Because Batman Brave and the Bold just mixed everything up, like in a good way. That makes sense. Were you in Teen Titans? In Teen Titans, the video game he was Fang. We're doing some Googling today. Fang, yes, Fang was the spider dude. He was dating the daughter of like a Mothman of some kind. Because the girl's name was Kitten or Kitty or something. Who was voiced by Tara Strong. And she was trying to date Robin to make Fang jealous. And that was the only time that he was in Teen Titans. Well, that makes sense. Okay. Oh, and he also voiced Terry in Static Shock. That's fun. Ah, damn. Ooh, that felt good. Yeah, sex is cool, but have you ever solved a big-ass voice acting puzzle that you didn't even know was a thing? Damn. And this is also just, we were talking earlier about like knowledge that you don't know why you know it, which was directly associated with this, the Terry stuff. I don't know why I know all this shit about voice acting, and it's because I absorbed a lot of it like 5 or 6 years ago when I was more of a nerd. Dope. Oh, there was a Lilo and Stitch Kim Possible crossover, wasn't there? I think there was. What an interesting thing that is. I have not seen it. That was all the rage in the 90s. It was like the crossovers. Was it the 90s or the 2000s? I'm thinking like Jimmy Timmy Power Hour and all that shit. Now I have to catch up with the chat because I didn't look at any of it because I didn't want anyone to like give me the answer, you know. Ha, yeah, yeah, you jerks were giving me the answer. That's why I didn't look at the chat because I knew you would. That doesn't surprise me. He's in Kingdom Hearts. Jesse McCartney is a surprisingly good voice actor. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about a white guy playing the Latino Texan Jaime Reyes, but it's the same voice actor as Batman Beyond, so he gets passed from me. But from me, a Latino Texan. Yeah, it's one of those things where I like his voice for is it Jaime or Jamie? I haven't seen the cartoon in a while, but whichever it is, I like his voice for it, but I also understand like wanting to cast uh someone who is Latino in the role. Who let me see who voiced Jaime in Oh, is it Jaime? Good, good, okay. Um oh dope. Yeah, prep for tornadoes. That is stay safe. Have a good night. Jaime who voiced Jaime in Young Justice? Let's find out. Eric Lopez. Do I know him from anything else? Cuban American actor. Dope. I am not looking for the American soccer player Eric Lopez. I am looking for the voice actor. Cool. I think he's been voice acting for a while. Oh, cool. And he was also Blue Beetle in Infinite Crisis. Oh, is that the Final Fantasy? Oh yeah, everyone, every single person that I know is in the Final Fantasy remake that just came out, and I'm so excited for them. Do I know you from anything else? Is the question. I don't think I do, but he's been in hella video games. Yeah, dope. Okay, hell yeah. It's a fun little hole we've worked ourselves into, just like googling a ton of shit. Oh, have I met Crispin Freeman? On a totally different note, have you ever met Crispin Freeman, Jesse? I haven't. I don't think so. Have I? No, I don't think so. Um, but I think he likes Helsinki Bridge, so that's fun. Jaime Reyes is also played by a Latino in Injustice 2. Oh, cool. That's great. Yeah, I think it's just like as we grow and learn as a culture, we're starting to figure out shit, which is good. Keep on trucking. Hello, good evening. How are y'all doing tonight? You've just joined us after a lot of Googling. Oh, stretch. Wow, we've just been vibing for 2 hours. Ooh, I'm gonna grab some more water real quick. Now, a question for y'all. Would you mind if I took a quick bathroom break? Because I've had to go to the bathroom, but then people kept showing up, and I was like, well, let's hold on, because I don't want to scare people off by me, putting this I'm on the bathroom thing, and then they're like, well, okay, I guess I'll leave. Um, but relieve yourself is a very good like. It also has an exclamation mark. Relieve yourself. Um, cool, cool. Oh yeah, no worries. Um, I let's see. How about what we'll do? I'm gonna go to the bathroom and then we will start reading if that's cool with y'all. And that's like a very like you're not being a trouble at all. I was already going to start reading the book. I just wasn't sure if people, I wasn't sure what people wanted to do, but I am excited to get back into it. So you're not it. You're all good. Um, but yes, I will go to the bathroom and then I'll come back and we'll start reading if that's cool with people. Pew pew. Strong wind advisory till 7 a.m. Ooh, but I'm fine, doing better now. That's good. Yeah, it was raining the other day and I loved that. But the strong winds frightened me, because I'm like, my apartment's fine, but like sometimes winds get so loud sounding that you're like, the house is going to tip over, even though that's not realistic for where I'm living right now. It's a fear. It's a fear. And usually I would stay, but stayed up for the book. Just wanted to know. Yeah, no worries. I'm excited to get back into it. So we will let's take a bathroom break. I will be right back, and then we can start reading. Sounds good. Boop. Putting on that bathroom thing. I will be right back. Hello, I'm back. And honestly, it makes me very excited that people are like interested in the book, you know? Because sometimes I'm reading and I'm like, is anyone actually interested in this? Am I the only one who's like excited about to read this book? So it makes me excited that people are like, are we gonna get can I I don't want to be a bother, but are we going to read tonight? Like that gets me excited. There I'm like, oh, you want to read? Cool. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Uh so not in not an inconvenience at all. I am excited to write to write this. I'm excited to write Gone Girl. Hell yeah. Okay, let's get to it. I just want to check my microphone is a good volume right now, right? Like, I'm gonna be reading it kind of this volume. So I'm test. This is usually what we do to just test the microphone. Cool. Okay, and it's at a level where I'm not. When I stop talking completely, it doesn't pick up any like fan or anything, which is good. All set, tight. All right. It concerns me that Jesse did not pull down his pants when he got on the toilet. Does Jesse not? Does Jesse know how to go? That is a good question. This picture, I just shit my pants just right on this fucking toilet. Um, but you know, it's in the alley. It's fine. My neighbors probably think I'm very weird. I'm here for the gay stuff. Wink face. Hell yeah. Let's do it. This is an Amy chapter. And if you remember, the last thing that happened was Nick started doing an interview with the girl that he met in that bar, and now it's time for Amy. Okay, Amy Elliott. Amy Elliott Dunn. 9 days gone. I wake up feeling immediately nervous. Off. I cannot be found here. That's what I wake up thinking. A burst of words, like a flash in my brain. The investigation is not going fast enough, and my money situation is just the opposite. And Jeff's and Greta's greedy antenna are up, and I smell like fish. There was something about Jeff and that race to the shoreline toward my bundled dress and my money belt. Something about the way Greta keeps alighting on Ellen Abbott. It makes me nervous. Or am I being paranoid? I sound like Diary, Amy. Is my husband going to kill me, or am I imagining? For the first time, I actually feel sorry for her. I make 2 calls to the Amy Dunn tip line and speak to 2 different people and offer 2 different tips. It's hard to tell how quickly they'll reach the police. The volunteers seem utterly disinterested. I drive to the library in a dark mood. I need to pack up and leave. Clean my cabin with bleach, wipe my fingerprints off everything, vacuum for any hairs, erase Amy and Lydia and Nancy, and go. If I go, I'll be safe. Even if Greta and Jeff do suspect who I am, as long as I'm not caught in the flesh, I'm okay. Amy Elliott Dunn is like a Yeti, coveted and folkloric, and they are 2 Ozarks grifters whose blurry story will be immediately debunked. I will leave today. That's what I decide when I walk with my head bowed into the chilly, mostly uninhabited library with its 3 vacant computers, and I go online to catch up on Nick. Since the vigil, the news about Nick has been on repeat. The same facts on a circuit, over and over, getting louder and louder, but with no new information. But today something is different. I type Nick's name into the search engine, and the blogs are going nuts because my husband has gotten drunk and done an insane interview in a bar with a random girl wielding a flip camera. God, the idiot never learns. Nick Dunn's video confession. Nick Dunn, drunken declarations. My heart jumps so high, my uvula begins pulsing. My husband has fucked himself again. The video loads, and there is Nick. He has the sleepy eyes he gets when he's drunk, the heavy lids, and he's got his sideways grin, and he's talking about me, and he looks like a human being. He looks happy. My wife, she just happens to be the coolest girl I've ever met, he says. You know what? Let me read that in Nick's voice, because he was drunk. My wife, she just happens to be the coolest girl I've ever met, he says. How many guys can say that? I married the coolest girl I ever met. My stomach flutters delicately. I was not expecting this. I almost smile. What's so cool about her? The girl asks off screen. Her voice is high, sorority cheery. Oh, what's so cool about her? Probably, like a little twinge of Valley Girl. Nick launches into the treasure hunt, how it was our tradition, how I always remembered hilarious inside jokes, and right now this was all he had left of me. So he had to complete the treasure hunt. It was his mission. I just reached the end this morning, he says. His voice is husky. He has been talking over the crowd. He'll go home and gargle with warm salt water, like his mother always made him do. If I were at home with him, he'd ask me to heat the water and make it for him, because he never got the right amount of salt. And it made me realize a lot. She's the only person in the world who has the power to surprise me, you know? Everyone else, I always know what they're going to say because everyone says the same thing. We all watch the same shows, we read the same stuff, we recycle everything. But Amy, she is her own perfect person. She just has this power over me. Where do you think she is now, Nick? My husband looks down at his wedding band and twirls it twice. Are you okay, Nick? The truth? No. I failed my wife so entirely. I have been so wrong. I just hope it's not too late. For me. For us. You're at the end of your rope, emotionally. Nick looks right at the camera. I want my wife. I want her to be right here. He takes a breath. I'm not the best at showing emotion. I know that. But I love her. I need her to be okay. She has to be okay. I have so much to make up to her. Like what? He laughs, the chagrined laugh that even now I find appealing. In better days, I used to call it the talk show laugh. It was the quick downward glance, the scratching of a corner of the mouth with a casual thumb, the inhaled chuckle that a charming movie star always deploys right before telling a killer story. Like, none of your business. He smiles. I just have a lot to make up to her. I wasn't the husband I could have been. We had a few hard years and I lost my shit. I stopped trying. I mean, I've heard that phrase 1,000 times. We stopped trying. Everyone knows it means the end of a marriage. It's textbook, but I stopped trying. It was me. I wasn't the man I needed to be. Nick's lids are heavy, his speech off-kilter enough that his twang is showing. He is past tipsy, one drink before drunk. His cheeks are pink with alcohol. My fingertips glow, remembering the heat of his skin when he had a few cocktails in him. So, how would you make it up to her? The camera wobbles for a second. The girl is grabbing her drink. How will I make it up to her? First, I'm going to find her and bring her home. Oh, I see. He's correcting her. So he's saying, how will I make it up to her? Oh, I see. Okay, because she had said, so how would you make it up to her in the past tense? But luckily, Nick, even drunk, is remembering what Tanner Bolts taught him, which was do not refer to Amy in past tense or you're going to fuck yourself. Weird how she still uses his last name when referring to herself. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Get some water. You know, it's funny. I'm pretty sure they didn't do it because I would have noticed, and I was looking out for it. But one of the things that's in the movie that's not in the book is I need to write this down. The sugar. When Amy and Nick have their first kiss. Oh, actually, sorry, 1 second. I wanted to do a heart emoji on Discord, and it didn't work. I gotta put it in like a caveman. Hell yeah. Cool. Okay. Oh, one of the things, when Amy and Nick have their first kiss, it's during, it's near where I forget the name of it, but there's like sugar being unloaded. So it's in the air, and in the book, and also in the movie, Nick touches Amy's lip. He wipes away the sugar so he can taste her, and that's like a cute thing with their first kiss. And in the movie, which I like that they changed, in the movie when Amy sees Nick have his first kiss with Andy, he does the same thing to her where he brushes away the sugar and then kisses her, even though it's like it's snow because it's snowing, so he brushes that, and it's symbolic of like, oh, you son of a bitch, like that's our kiss. It's the equivalent of the Spider-Man kiss. Why Mary Jane is pissed off that Peter kisses Gwen while upside down. It was like that was our thing. But in the book, not only does that swipe not happen, their first kiss is he pushes her up against a tree, like on their way home. It's not even outside the bar. So I like that they changed that because that's a lot cleaner and it's also a lot more. It's more of a betrayal, you know. Because not only are you cheating on me, you're also stealing our thing. Let's see, where was I? Okay. How will I make it up to her? First, I'm going to find her and bring her home. You can bet on that. Then, whatever she needs from me, I'll give her. From now on. Because I reached the end of the treasure hunt and I was brought to my knees, humbled. My wife has never been more clear to me than she is now. I've never been so sure of what I needed to do. If you could talk to Amy right now, what would you tell her? I love you. I will find you. I will. And I can tell he's about to do the Daniel Day-Lewis line from The Last of the The Last of the Mohicans? I know it's a famous movie, but I've never said it out loud. Stay alive. I will find you. He can't resist deflecting any sincerity with a quick line of movie dialogue. I can feel him teetering right on the edge of it. He stops himself. Oh, I see. So he's not... Okay, sorry. I read that incorrectly because there's quotations around it, so I thought it was Nick continuing his line. But Amy's just saying, I can tell he's about to do the Daniel Day-Lewis line from The Last of the Mohicans. That's how it's pronounced. Yes, Mohicans. But the line in the movie is "Stay alive, I will find you." But he stops himself and instead he says, "I love you forever, Amy." How heartfelt. How unlike my husband. Also, I find it interesting how, despite all her planning, she doesn't seem to have an understanding of how long time an investigation can take. Yeah, she's such a perfectionist. She's done all this, but maybe she didn't count on the police not finding the diary, because they haven't found the diary yet. The movie kind of switches around this order of events, and this interview is supposed to be in the movie, at least it takes place not with a girl in a bar, but he actually goes on. Oh fuck, what's her name? What's her name? The person with the TV show, Ellen Abbott. He actually goes on Ellen Abbott and gives an interview, and that's what this interview is supposed to be. I don't know which one I like better. I like them both. I think that with the script that they did for the movie, they wanted to speed things along, and Nick going out of his way to go to a bar and get interviewed Like that is, it gives a different feel, and it does seem more sincere. Because the thing that Nick is trying to do right now is charm Amy. You know, he's trying to be like, "Come home, please," and he's trying to trick her into like being like, "Hey, I'm a good husband. I will do whatever you want. Just come home, please. I don't want to go to jail." Because at the end of this interview, or rather, it's in the middle of the interview. It's at the end of the chapter. Before this, it's a Nick chapter, and he's pretending to be cool, and then in his head, he's thinking something else. Because the last line is, "My wife, she just happens to be the coolest girl I've ever met." How many guys can say that? I married the coolest girl I ever met. And then in his head, he's thinking, "You fucking bitch, you fucking bitch, you fucking bitch. Come home so I can kill you." And that's like in italics because he's thinking that. So right now he is, the book wants us to understand that he's trying to trick her into coming home. And I think I like the bar idea better, actually. I like what's in the book because it is more spontaneous and more believable. Because this Amy is way smarter than movie Amy, just because of what we're shown. Um, and I when he goes on Ellen Abbott in the movie, it's like it seems a little artificial to me. It seems like I wouldn't be tricked by that, and I don't know if I don't think Book Amy would be tricked by that. Because having it here when he's drunk in a bar setting is a lot more believable than if he's showing his true colors, you know. Then it's like, oh shit, maybe he has changed. Maybe me framing him for this murder has actually changed him. Because going on Ellen Abbott is a very planned thing. But, yeah, we'll see. I'll love you to death, Amy. Let's see. Yeah, then there's three dots, so it's like a passing of time. Not three dots as in dot dot dot, three dots as in the middle of the page. You know, like this is a new section. Three morbidly obese hill people on motorized scooters are between me and my morning coffee. Their asses mushroom over the sides of the contraptions, but they still need another Egg McMuffin. There are literally three people parked in front of me in line inside the McDonald's. I actually don't care. I'm curiously cheerful despite the twist in the plan. Despite this twist in the plan. Online, the video is already spiraling away. That is an interesting. I love that spiral viraling away, and the reaction is surprisingly positive, cautiously optimistic. Maybe this guy didn't kill his wife after all. That is, word for word, the most common refrain. Because once Nick lets his guard down and shows some emotion, it's all there. No one could watch the video and believe he was putting up an act. It was no swallow the pain sort of amateur theater. My husband loves me. Or at least, last night he loved me. While I was plotting his doom in my crummy little cabin that smells of moldy towels, he loved me. It's not enough. I know that, of course. I can't change my plan. But it gives me pause. My husband has finished the treasure hunt, and he is in love with me. He is also deeply distressed. On one cheek, I swear I could spot a hive. Oh, damn. So she sees the bite mark, and that's so funny. He has to keep convincing people, like, it's hives, it's hives. No one bit me. And then she sees it and thinks it's a hive. That's cool. I pull up to my cabin to find Dorothy knocking on my door. Her hair is wet from the heat, brushed straight back like a Wall Street slickster's. She is in the habit of swiping her upper lip, then licking the sweat off her fingers, so she has her index finger in her mouth like a buttery corn cob as she turns to me. There she is, she says. The truant. I am late on my cabin payment. 2 days. It almost makes me laugh. I'm late on rent. I'm so sorry, Dorothy. I'll come by with it in 10 minutes. I'll wait if you don't mind. I'm not sure if I'm going to stay. I might have to head on. Then you'd still owe me the 2 days. $80, please. I duck into my cabin, undo my flimsy money belt. I counted my cash on my bed this morning, taking a good long time doling out each bill, a teasing economic striptease, and the big reveal was that I have only $8,849 left. It costs a lot to live. Oh boy, does it. When I open the door to hand Dorothy the cash, 8,769 left, I see Greta and Jeff hanging out on Greta's porch, watching the cash exchange hands. Jeff isn't playing his guitar. Greta isn't smoking. They seem to be standing on her porch just to get a better look at me. They both wave at me, "Hey, sweetie," and I wave limply back. I close the door and start packing. It's strange how little I own in this world when I used to own so much. I don't own an egg beater or a soup bowl. I own sheets and towels, but I don't own a decent blanket. I own a pair of scissors so I can keep my hair butchered. It makes me smile because Nick didn't own a pair of scissors when we moved in together. No scissors, no iron, no stapler, and I remember asking him how he thought he was possibly civilized without a pair of scissors, and he said of course he wasn't, and swooped me up in his arms and threw me on the bed and pounced on top of me, and I laughed because I was still cool girl. I laughed instead of thinking about what it meant. One should never marry a man who doesn't own a decent set of scissors. That would be my advice. It leads to bad things. Ooh. I love that line. 305. Because it does say a lot. The stereotype with straight cis men is that they don't mature or learn how to like do basic shit like sewing and cooking and stuff, and they kind of expect women to come in and like save them and make them a project and like because it's their duty and blah blah blah. um and I've dated dudes like that, and I've also been that dude where I just expected people to do things for me, like, and didn't learn how to do things myself. And moving out on my own made me grow up a lot. Gross. I'm a cis white man, so I can say that. Yeah. It's or actually, I'm not sure if you know because that's the I remember you using it before. Cis is actually spelled with a C, in case you weren't aware. It might just be a typo both times, but in case you weren't aware, it's funny because I'm actually I'm writing the series that I am right now, and I use cis, and I was thinking about like, hopefully people know what this means, and I realized while writing it, I'm going to be covering a lot of subjects that, if no one has heard the term cis before or something, that I can't just go through defining everything, so I kind of make a joke about it where, what do I do? What do I do? I totally forget. Oh, you weren't? Yeah, yeah. Cis is spelled CIS. If you Google cisgender, then it's CISGENDER. I'm trying to remember. I think I say a thing, and then there's something that needs defining if you don't know. So then I have that pop up on the screen, like the definition. And then he says another thing, and then another word needs defining, and then the text pops up and defines it. And then the third one was talking about how cisgender people love asking trans people questions that they could just Google, and then the word like "you" pops up, and then it says something along the lines of, if you don't know a definition of something, you could possibly just search it on the internet, which is my little sly way of saying like, hey, there's going to be a lot of stuff in this show that you might not know the definition of, and you can just search it on the internet. Because if I spend time defining every single queer buzzword that comes up, we're going to be here all day. So I give them a couple, and then I'm like, all right, do the rest yourself if you don't know a word. But I was just writing that last night, so that reminded me of that. Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Oh yeah, this line. Uh, One should never marry a man who doesn't own a decent set of scissors. That would be my advice. It leads to bad things. I love that line because it's not like if someone doesn't own scissors, it's not a big deal, but it leads to bad things. It shows that that might not be the only problem. If they don't know to do it. Pocket knives are also dope. I mean, it'd feel weird pulling out my phone to Google said questions in front of a trans person. Well, I may be sneaky about it. That's that's what I do. It's funny, like I one of my very woke friends knew about something about trans people that even I didn't know. Um, and he was talking to another friend about it and kind of looking at me like um assuming that I had known it. It was like, Jesse, he probably blah 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I like went on my phone and was just like very casually just like Googling things and I was like, oh shit, he's right. And I acted like, of course I do that as a trans person. Of course I do this very basic thing. I'm very educated. Ruff, ruff, ruff. Right, yeah, like, hey, it's not your job to educate me, so give me like 5 minutes to Google and educate myself. Like, yeah, I appreciate that when people are like, or if someone's like, hey, I tried to do it on my own, and that like shows that they put in effort, because it can get exhausting just like saying the same thing over and over again. It's kind of like it's on a bigger scale, but a smaller scale thing would be like if you have tattoos and everyone always asks about your tattoos and you have to like go into this whole thing and explain all of your tattoos and you've done it a million times and it's like it's a compliment. I'm glad you want to learn more about me, but I'm exhausted because I've had to say this so many times. Um, and that can also happen with like people of different races, like and I was taught this. I didn't know this was a bad thing. Um, but Dash is for those who don't know, Dash is a non-binary person that I dated for a while, and they are half Korean. And sometimes people would just like ask them about like Asian stuff, and it's not and like not even the same kind that they are. They would ask about like Japanese things or Chinese things, and it's like this feels bad because like I'm not speaking for this whole, and they were venting to me one day about that, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even realize that's a bad thing to do, but it totally makes sense when I think about it like that. Um, where people of color and queer people don't exist to just like educate you. It's like, hey, can you put in a little effort and do it on your own a little first? And then once I was able to relate it to my own experiences, then I understood like, oh, that's why that feels bad. I should try to do it on myself a little first. But as long as someone's just putting in the effort, if they're like, hey, or at the very least, if they're like, hey, I tried to look at this on my own and I couldn't get a clear answer, and I was wondering if you wouldn't mind sharing your opinion on it. I respect that a lot more than like someone asking a very broad question that is very easily searchable, if that makes sense. Where were you? Where were we? Oh yes. Oh yes, the pit of despair. Um, let's see. Mhm. Yeah, it's a little confusing when you mention a problem you heard from a friend of the queer community has had, and another person of the queer community doesn't know about it. You're just sitting there like, well, this is a one-time problem, like they were mentioning before. Am I assuming things? Yeah, it can be confusing if someone's like, I've never heard of that. Uh, but we're all just trying our best, and that's knowledge is power. I don't know. Um, let's see. Uh, I fold and pack my clothes in my tiny backpack. The same 3 outfits I bought and kept in my getaway car a month ago so I didn't have to take anything from home. Toss in my travel toothbrush, calendar, comb, lotion, the sleeping pills I bought back when I was going to drug and drown myself, my cheap swimsuits. It takes such little time, the whole thing. I put on my latex gloves and wipe down everything. I pull out the drains to get any trapped hair. I don't really think Greta and Jeff know who I am, but if they do, I don't want to leave any proof. And the whole time I say to myself, this is what you get for relaxing. This is what you get for not thinking all the time. All the time. You deserve to get caught, a girl who acts so stupidly. And what if you left hairs in the front office? Then what? And what if there are fingerprints in Jeff's car or Greta's kitchen? What then? Why did you ever think you could be someone who didn't worry? I picture the police scouring the cabins, finding nothing, and then, like a movie, I go in for a close-up of one lone mousy hair of mine drifting along the concrete floor of the pool, waiting to damn me. Then my mind swings the other way. Of course no one is going to show up to look for you here. All the police have to go on is the claim of a few grifters that they saw the real Amy Elliott Dunn at a cheap, broke-down cabin court in the middle of nowhere. Like people wanting to feel bigger. That's what they'd assume. An assertive knock at the door. The kind a parent gives right before swinging the door wide. I own this place. I stand in the middle of my room and debate not answering. Bang, bang, bang. I understand now why so many horror movies use that device, the mysterious knock on the door, because it has the weight of a nightmare. You don't know what's out there, yet you know you'll open it. You'll think what I think. No one bad ever knocks. Hey, sweetheart, we know you're home. Open up. I strip off my latex gloves, open the door, and Jeff and Greta are standing on my porch, the sun to their backs, their features in shadow. Hey, pretty lady, can we come in? Jeff asks. I was going to come see you guys. I say, trying to sound flippant, harried. I'm leaving tomorrow or tonight. Got a call from back home. Gotta get going back home. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's not an error or anything. This is very uncharacteristic of Amy to like repeat words like that. She says, I'm leaving tonight, tomorrow or tonight. Got a call from back home. Gotta get going back home. So this is like very not like her to like keep repeating words and sound not 100% confident. Why didn't she burn off her fingerprints with acid? That's a good question. She is a level of insane enough that she's willing to take. She's like, I could definitely take sleeping pills and drown myself, but so it is unlike her that she wouldn't try to burn off her. I guess she didn't burn them off. I think because she thought she was gonna kill herself. And if she kills herself and they find her with no fingerprints, that's a little harder to explain. It's like, sure, Nick could have done it, but then there's evidence you have to plant to make sure he had acid and, you know. So maybe she didn't think it was completely necessary. Because it's also like, if her body is going to get recognized, she wants it to get recognized. All you gotta do is smudge all your prints by dragging your hands on everything you touch. I did not think about that. Now if I have to disappear, I will know to do that. Oh, let's see. Home Louisiana. Oh, no, this is Greta. Home Louisiana or home Savannah? Greta says. She and Jeff have been talking about me. Louisiana. It doesn't matter, Jeff says. Let us in for a second. We come to say goodbye. He steps toward me, and I think about screaming or slamming the door, but I don't think either will go well. Better to pretend everything is fine and hope that is true. Greta closes the door behind them and leans against it as Jeff wanders into the tiny bedroom. Then the kitchen, chatting about the weather, opening doors and cabinets. You gotta clear everything out. Dorothy will keep your deposit if you don't, he says. She's a stickler. He opens the refrigerator, peers into the crisper, the freezer. Not even a jar of ketchup can you leave. I always thought that was weird. Ketchup doesn't go bad. Is that true? I don't know, Jeff. He opens the closet and lifts up the cabin bedding I've folded, shakes out the sheets. I always shake out the sheets, he says, just to make sure nothing's inside. A sock or underwear or what have you. He opens the drawer of my bedside table, kneels down, and looks all the way to the back. Looks like you've done a good job, he says, standing up and smiling, brushing his hands off in his jeans. Got everything? He scans me neck to foot and back up. Where is it, sweetheart? What's that? Your money. He shrugs. Don't make it hard. Me and her really need it. Greta is silent behind me. I have about $20. Lie, Jeff said. You pay for everything, even rent, in cash. Greta saw you with that big wad of money. So hand it over and you can leave. We all never have to see each other again. I'll call the police. Go ahead, my guest. Jeff waits, arms crossed, thumbs in his armpits. Your glasses are fake, Greta says. They're just glass. I say nothing, stare at her, hoping she'll back down. These two seem just nervous enough that they may change their minds, say they're screwing with me, and the three of us will laugh and know otherwise, but I'll agree to pretend. And your hair, the roots are coming in, and they're blonde, a lot prettier than whatever color you dyed it, hamster. And that haircut is awful, by the way, Greta says. You're hiding from whatever. I don't know if it really is a guy or what, but you're not going to call the police, so just give us the money. Jeff talk you into this? I ask. I talked Jeff into it. I start toward the door that Greta's blocking. Let me out. Give us the money. I make a grab for the door and Greta swings toward me, shoves me against the wall, one hand smashed over my face, and with the other she pulls at my dress, yanks off the money belt. Don't, Greta, I'm serious. Stop. Her hot, salty palm is all over my face, jamming my nose. One of her fingernails scrapes my eye. Then she pushes me back against the wall, my head banging, my teeth coming down on the tip of my tongue. The whole scuffle is very quiet. I have the buckle end of the belt in my hand, but I can't see to fight her, my eyes watering too much, and she soon rips away my grip, leaving a burning scrape of fingernails on my knuckles. She shoves me again and opens the zipper, fingers through the money. Holy shit, she says. This is like... She counts. More than 1,000, 2 or 3. Holy shit. Damn, girl, you rob a bank? She may have, Jeff says. Embezzlement. In a movie, one of Nick's movies, I would upthrust my palm into Greta's nose, drop her to the floor bloody and unconscious, then roundhouse Jeff. But the truth is I don't know how to fight, and there are 2 of them, and it doesn't seem worth it. I will run at them, and they will grab me by the wrists while I pat and fuss at them like a child, or they will get really angry and beat the crap out of me. I've never been hit. I'm scared of getting hurt by someone else. You going to call the police? Go ahead and call them, Jeff says. Jeff says again. Fuck you, I whisper. Sorry about this, Greta says. Next place you go, be more careful, okay? You gotta not look like a girl traveling by herself, hiding out. You'll be okay, Jeff says. He pats me on the arm as they leave. A quarter and a dime sit on the bedside table. It's all my money in the world. Woo. Yep, you do get robbed in Missouri. Ketchup does go bad, but it has a very long shelf life. Oh. It's interesting because in the book, it seems like Greta and Jeff are like way more equal in that exchange. In the movie, it's mostly It's mostly Greta. You should have killed them when you had the chance, Amy, you coward. Yeah, she just like frames them for her murder here of this totally new girl and then moves on, just keeps framing people for murdering her. Nick Dunn, 9 days gone. Good morning. I sat in bed with my laptop by my side, enjoying the online reviews of my impromptu interview. My left eyeball was throbbing a bit, a light hangover from the cheap scotch, but the rest of me was feeling pretty satisfied. Last night, I cast the first line to lure my wife back in. I'm sorry, I will make it up to you. I will do whatever you want from now on. I will let the world know how special you are. Because I was fucked unless Amy decided to show herself. Tanner's detective, a wiry, clean-cut guy, not the boozy noir gumshoe I'd hoped for, had come up with nothing so far. My wife had disappeared herself perfectly. I had to convince Amy to come back to me, flush her out with compliments and capitulation. If the reviews were any indication, I made the right call, because the reviews were good. They were very good. The Iceman melteth. I knew he was a good guy. In vino veritas. Maybe he didn't kill her after all. Maybe he didn't kill her after all. Maybe he didn't kill her after all. And they'd stopped calling me Lance. Outside my house, the cameramen and journalists were restless. They wanted a statement from the guy who maybe didn't kill her after all. They were yelling at my drawn blinds. Hey, Nick, come on out. Tell us about Amy. Hey, Nick, tell us about your treasure hunt. For them, it was just a new wrinkle in a ratings bonanza, but it was much better than, Nick, did you kill your wife? And then suddenly, they were yelling Go's name. They loved Go. She had no poker face. You knew if Go was sad, angry, or worried. Stick a caption underneath, and you had a whole story. Margot, is your brother innocent? Margot, tell us about... Tanner, is your client innocent? Tanner... The doorbell rang, and I opened the door while hiding behind it because I was still disheveled. My spiky hair and wilted boxers would tell their own story. Last night, on camera, I was adorably smitten, a tad tipsy, in vino veritastic. Veritastic. I see. In vino veritastic. Now I just look like a drunk. I closed the door and waited for two more glowing reviews of my performance. You don't ever do something like that again, Tanner started. What the hell is wrong with you, Nick? I feel like I need to put one of those toddler leashes on you. How stupid can you be? Have you seen all the comments online? People love it. I'm turning around public opinion like you told me to. You don't do that kind of thing in an uncontrollable environment, he said. What if she worked for Ellen Abbott? What if she started asking you questions that were harder than, what do you want to say to your wife, cutie pumpkin pie? He said this in a girlish sing-song. His face under the orange spray tan was red, giving him a radioactive pallor. I trusted my instincts. I'm a journalist, Tanner. You have to give me some credit that I can smell bullshit. She was genuinely sweet. He sat down on the sofa, put his feet on the ottoman that would never have flipped over on its own. Yeah, well, so was your wife once, he said. So was Andy once. How's your cheek? It still hurt. The bite seemed to throb as he reminded me of it. I turned to Go for support. It wasn't smart, Nick, she said, sitting down across from Tanner. You were really, really lucky. It turned out really well, but it might not have. You guys are really overreacting. Can we just enjoy a small moment of good news? Just 30 seconds of good news in the past 9 days, please? Tanner pointedly looked at his watch. Okay, go. When I started to talk, he popped his index finger, made the whoop whoop noise that grown-ups make when children try to interrupt. Whoop whoop probably is a more accurate example of that. 1 second. There you go. Sorry. That was my thing for the front door. I think someone just got the wrong number. We have a thing where you can like, what's the word? You can buzz people in. It's like, I should figure out how to like use it more. There are more buttons than I know. I don't know what half the buttons do. Let's see. Where the fuck was I think we were like in the middle of a. Oh right, I was saying the oop oop sound because it says UHP dash UHP, but it's probably like up up like trying to interrupt. Yeah, I mean like if you're on the run, you might as well. Doorbell or buzz people in? Well, it does both. So. Watch face. Okay, here we go. Oh, I see. So he is literally saying 30 seconds. And then he goes, okay, 30 seconds. Did you enjoy it? He paused to see if I'd said it, if I'd say anything. The pointed silence a teacher allows after asking the disruptive student, "Are you done talking?" Now, we need to talk. We are in a place where excellent timing is absolutely key. I agree. Gee, thanks. He arched an eyebrow at me. I wanted to go to the police very, very soon with the contents of the woodshed, while the hoi polloi is just hoi polloi, I thought. Not the hoi polloi. It was something Amy had taught me. Oh, I don't know what any of that means. But I'm sure. Hey, you know what? Let's Google it. We have the internet. Hoi polloi means the masses, the common people. The masses, the ordinary people. The phrase is used in a derogatory way to refer to a popular preference or incorrect opinion. The hoi polloi may think that Fitzgerald is a great director. This is an example of one. The hoi polloi may think that Fitzgerald is a great director, but those who know about film realize that his work is commercial and derivative. From Greek meaning the many. Okay, so it's like you could probably sub it in for like, you know, idiots think this, or like most people think this in kind of a snobby way. It's a little hard to follow because Nick interrupts in the middle, but I will say it. I'll connect the two sentences so you can just like hear it as his line is supposed to be said. While the hoi polloi is all loving you, is all loving on you again, or excuse me, not again. Finally, the reporters have found Go's house, and I don't feel secure leaving the woodshed. Its contents, that woodshed, its contents undisclosed much longer. The Elliots are. We can't count on the Elliots' support anymore, I said. Not at all. Another pause. Tanner decided not to lecture me or even ask what happened. So we need offense, I said, feeling untouchable, angry, ready. Nick, don't let one good turn this is Go. Nick, don't let one good turn make you feel indestructible, Go said. She pressed some extra strengths from her purse into my hand. Get rid of your hangover. We need to be on today. It's going to be okay, I told her. I popped the pills, turned to Tanner. What do we do? Let's make a plan. Great. Here's the deal, Tanner said. This is incredibly unorthodox, but that's me. Tomorrow we are doing an interview with Sharon Scheiber. Oh, interesting. Okay, so maybe Sharon Scheiber is the one that they have an interview with. I mistakenly thought it was Ellen Abbott. Wow, that's for sure? Sharon Scheiber was as good as I could ask for. The top rated, ages 30 to 55, network, broader reach than cable, newswoman, to prove I could have respectful relations with people who have vaginas, working today. She was known for dabbling very occasionally in the impure waters of true crime journalism. But when she did, she got freaking righteous. 2 years ago, she took under her silken wing a young mother who had been imprisoned for shaking her infant to death. Sharon Scheiber presented a whole legal and very emotional defense case over a series of nights. The woman is now back home in Nebraska, remarried and expecting a child. Ooh, no. That's for sure. She got in touch after the video went viral. So the video did help. I couldn't resist. It gave you an interesting wrinkle. Before the video, it was clear you did it. Now there's a slight chance you didn't. I don't know how it is you finally seem genuine because last night it served an actual purpose. Get Amy back, Go said. It was an offensive maneuver. Where before it would just be indulgent, undeserved, disingenuous emotion. Oh, I see. Where before it would have just sorry, I keep butchering this. Where before it would just be indulgent, undeserved, disingenuous emotion. I gave her a thank you smile. Pardon me 1 second, because I'm remembering something. And I'm trying to figure out if I want to take advantage of something that there's an offer that ends at midnight and it's 20 minutes till. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to take advantage of it, because it's on a time limit. Give me like a few minutes to just think this through. Sorry, normally I wouldn't do this on stream, but it does end in like 20 minutes, the offer, so I had time to think about it, but I only woke up at I've been doing this weird thing where my sleep schedule reverses, so I got up at I don't know, I kept waking up. But one of the things that I did when I woke up around 3 or 4 p.m., because I had stayed up until 10 a.m., was that I checked my email, and then they gave me this offer, and I was like, cool, I wish I had more time to think about this. Interesting. Oh, I see. Okay. What's the offer for? There are some. There's a company called Potion, and they make CBD gummies, which are basically it's a strain. There's THC and there's CBD, and they're both strains of. Is it strains of weed? I don't even know if I'm saying it correctly. They're the two kinds of weed stuff that you can get. THC is for if you want to get high, and CBD helps people with PTSD and sleepy times. It helps to relax the body. And I tried one of them to see if it could help me sleep at night. because I do have my weed card. You can qualify for it if you have like PTSD and stuff like that. And I have PTSD, so I was able to get diagnosed by a therapist and make it so that I'm able to get shit. But this stuff you don't need a weed card for, and I wanted to see if it would be able to help me. And it's been dope so far, but I've only tried two of my little things, and now this offer is like, hey, you can get, oh, what is it? It's one of those things where I wouldn't get it on my own for another experience, but this is 25% off and it has free shipping already. So it is, this is the only circumstance where it's like, you know what, this is worth it if I wanted to get more. So that's what I'm thinking over. No, OBS, I don't want you to open. Shoot. I got Streamlabs OBS, which is superior in my opinion. It looks cleaner. It looks more user friendly. Hopefully they make it for Mac soon, because some of my friends who stream and have Mac aren't able to use Streamlabs OBS. Dude, treat yourself. I hope it's. I should. I do. That's what I'm leaning towards, because like this is the opportunity that I would do it. Because if it wasn't 25% off, I probably wouldn't. But this is actually making it worth it. So yeah, fuck it. Let's dance, buds. And it's funny because looking at the flavors, stuff with CBD in it usually tastes bad to me. But I tried some blueberry puffs and it doesn't taste like weed, which is good because I don't like the taste of the weed. Don't like it. I've tried a lot of different kinds of consuming it in order to like just get it in my body, you know. I don't like the experience. It's kind of like alcohol where I don't like the experience of drinking it. I just want the effect that it creates. So it's good that it's like these, there's like sour gummy worms or sour cola bites or peach rings, but seeing the flavors makes me just want candy. The question is, do I want to try peach rings or do I just want the candy peach rings? Because I can just buy actual peach rings, you know. I don't want to be tricked into buying something where I'm just like, you know what, you're craving candy, Jesse. This is yeah. Sorry that this is, you know, taking a sec. Yeah, because CBD like can get expensive. So like this, like you said, take the chance you've got. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't. Like if it was 20% off, I'd be like, no thanks, still. But it is 25% off, so I'm like, I should. It's not just. Usually, I could talk myself out of like impulse buying things, but this isn't an impulse buy. This is like, hey, this would genuinely maybe be good for your body, Jesse. Could you do something that would be good for you? Now I'm just trying to decide on the flavor. The blueberry puffs are dope. I'm trying to decide if a sour gummy worm is the route that I want to go. What is? Sorry, I'm sure this is not interesting to watch. But this will only take. I mean, worst case, The offer ends in 11 minutes, so we're this will not take too long. I just have to fucking decide and just do it. Um, yeah, let's try peach rings. Do I want the sour gummy worms is the question. I just hope the sour gummy worms don't trick my body into staying awake for longer, you know? Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take out the gummy worms. I'm gonna do the blueberry puffs because I know that I like those, and I'm also going to try the peach rings. And then maybe my dumb brain will shut off when it's time to sleep now. Because that's the issue that I have is my anxiety is just so bad at night that I can't sleep. Let's do it. Ooh, you know what? I should also check and see. There was a hemp like lotion or something of some kind. I'm not sure. Was this the same company? I'm pretty sure there was. I thought this was the same company. Maybe I'm just crazy. I could have sworn there was a lotion that helped with muscle stuff, which would be good because I've been working out a lot lately and my back gets tight. But I thought they were just sold out of it, but like I can't find it on the site, so maybe I'm just an insane person. Cool. Okay. Well, I got 8 minutes, so let's rock and roll. Good. Boom. Nice. Okay. Yes, this is for sure worth it. All right. Hell yeah. We good? Come on. It's cooking me. There we go. We done did it. Hell yeah. Ooh, okay. That is taken care of. Thank you for allowing me to do that. Dope. Okay. Sweet. All right. Let's get back to it. Yeah, I've tried the oils and stuff like that, but like you got to be careful with how much you consume because one time I got like very sick where I consumed too much of the oil and I just like violent vomiting for hours and that sucked. It did not help me get to sleep if you would believe it. Um but I tried a blueberry puff the other day and it legit helped, which is good. All right, let's get to it. Where were we? Where were we? Oh, good. Yes, we were right here. The line that I kept butchering goes, I gave her a thank you smile. Well, keep remembering that it is serving a purpose, Tanner said. Nick, I'm not fucking around here. This is beyond unorthodox. Oh, this is beyond unorthodox. Most lawyers would be shutting you up, but it's something I've been wanting to try. The media has saturated the legal environment with the internet, Facebook, YouTube. There's no such thing as an unbiased jury anymore. No clean slate. 80-90% of a case is decided before you get in the courtroom. So why not use it? Control the story. But it's a risk. I want every word, every gesture, every bit of information planned out ahead of time. But you have to be natural, likable, or this will all backfire. Oh, that sounds simple, I said. 100% canned, yet totally genuine. You have to be extremely careful with your wording, and we will tell Sharon that you won't answer certain questions. She'll ask you anyway, but we'll teach you how to say, because of certain prejudicial... but we'll teach you to say, because of certain prejudicial actions by the police involved in this case, I really, unfortunately, can't answer that right now as much as I'd like to, and say it convincingly. Like a talking dog. Sure, like a talking dog who doesn't want to go to prison. We get Sharon Schreiber to take you on as a cause, Nick, and we are golden. This is all incredibly unorthodox, but that's me, Tanner said again. He liked the line. It was his theme music. He paused and furrowed his brow, doing his pretend thinking gesture. He was going to add something I wouldn't like. What? I asked. You need to tell Sharon Schreiber about Andy. Because it's going to come out. The affair. It just will. Right when people are finally starting to like me? You want me to undo that? I swear to you, Nick. How many cases have I handled? It always, somehow, some way, always comes out. This way we have control. You tell her about Andy and you apologize. Apologize literally as if your life depends on it. You had an affair. You are a man, a weak, stupid man, but you love your wife, and you will make it up to her. You do the interview, it'll air the next night. All content is embargoed, so the network can't tease the Andy affair in their ads. They can just use the word bombshell. So you already told them about Andy? Good God, no, he said. I told them, we have a nice bombshell for you. So you do the interview, and we have about 24 hours. Just before it hits TV, we tell Boney and Gilpin about Andy and about our discovery in the woodshed. Oh my gosh, we put it all together for you. Amy is alive and she's framing Nick. She's crazy, jealous, and she is framing Nick. Oh, the humanity. Why not tell Sharon Schreiber then? About Amy framing me. Reason one, you come clean about Andy. You beg forgiveness. The nation is primed to forgive you. They'll feel sorry for you. Americans love to see sinners apologize. But you can reveal nothing to make your wife look bad. No one wants to see the cheating husband blame the wife for anything. Let someone else do it sometime the next day. Sources close to the police reveal that Nick's wife, the one he swore he loved with all his heart, is framing him. It's great TV. What's reason two? It's too complicated to explain exactly how Amy's framing you. You can't do it in a soundbite. It's bad TV. I feel sick, I said. Nick, it's... Ghost started. I know it has to be done. But can you imagine your biggest secret and you have to tell the world about it? I know I have to do it. And it works for us, ultimately, I think. It's the only way Amy might come back, I said. She wants me to be publicly humiliated, chastened. Is that chastened? Yeah, I think. Tanner interrupted. Humiliated makes it sound like you feel sorry for yourself. And to publicly apologize, I continued. But it's going to be fucking awful. Before we go forward, I want to be honest here, Tanner said. Telling the police the whole story, Amy's framing Nick, it is a risk. Most cops, they decide on a suspect and they don't want to veer at all. They're not open to any other options. So there's a risk that we tell them and they laugh us out of the station and they arrest you. And then theoretically, we've just given them a preview of our defense. so they can plan exactly how to destroy it at trial. Okay, wait, that sounds really, really bad, Tanner, Go said. Like, bad, inadvisable bad. Let me finish, Tanner said. One, I think you're right, Nick. I think Boney isn't convinced you're a killer. I think she would be open to an alternative. I think she would be open to an alternate theory. She has a good reputation as a cop who's actually fair, as a cop who has good instincts. And I talked with her. I got a good vibe. I think the evidence is leading her in your direction. But I think a gut is telling us something else. Something's off. More important, if we do go to trial, I wouldn't use the Amy frame up as your defense anyway. What do you mean? Like I said, it's too complicated. A jury wouldn't be able to follow. If it's not good TV, believe me, it's not for a jury. We'd go with more of an OJ thing. A simple storyline. The cops are incompetent and out to get you. It's all circumstantial. If the glove doesn't fit, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. That gives me a lot of confidence, I said. Tanner flashed a smile. Juries love me, Nick. I'm one of them. You're the opposite of one of them, Tanner. Reverse that. They'd like to think they're one of me. It's interesting. They'd like to think they're one of me. So juries don't like Tanner. That's interesting. So instead, it's like maybe hanging out with someone cool. It's like you don't like them. You just want to be like them. I hear a noise and I'm trying to figure out if it's raining or not. Okay. Everything we did now, we did in front of small brambles of flashing paparazzi. So, Go, Tanner, and I left the house under pops of light and pings of noise. Don't look down, Tanner advised. Don't smile, but don't look ashamed. Don't rush either, just walk. Let them take their shots, and shut the door before you call them names. Then you can call them whatever you want. We were headed down to St. Louis, where the interview would take place, so I could prep with Tanner's wife, Betsy, a former TV news anchor turned lawyer. She was the other Bolt in Bolt and Bolt. Well, that's interesting. That's not in the movie. It's not even called Bolt and Bolt in the movie, I'm pretty sure. I might have to double check on that though. And I want to know like what deleted scenes or anything. I gotta look that up. For as many times as I've seen the movie, you'd think I would look at the deleted scenes. It was a creepy tailgate party. Tanner and I, followed by Go, followed by a half-dozen news vans. But by the time the arch crept over the skyline, I was no longer thinking of the paparazzi. By the time we reached Tanner's penthouse hotel suite, I was ready to do the work I needed to nail the interview. Again, I longed for my own theme music, the montage of me getting ready for the big fight. What's the mental equivalent of a speed bag? A gorgeous, 6-foot-tall black woman answered the door. Hi, Nick. I'm Betsy Bolt. In my mind, Betsy Bolt was a diminutive, blonde Southern belle white girl. Don't worry, everyone is surprised when they meet me. Betsy laughed, catching my look, shaking my hand. Tanner and Betsy, we sound like we should be on the cover of the official Preppy guide, right? Preppy handbook, Tanner corrected as he kissed her on the cheek. See? He actually knows, she said. That's interesting. But they kind of reversed it, because Tanner's played by Tyler Perry in the movie. She ushered us into an impressive penthouse suite, a living room sunlit by wall-to-wall windows, with bedrooms shooting off each side. Tanner had sworn he couldn't stay in Carthage at the Days Inn out of respect for Amy's parents. But Go and I both suspected he couldn't stay in Carthage because the closest 5-star hotel was in St. Louis. We engaged in the preliminaries, a small talk about Betsy's family, college career, all stellar, A-list, awesome, and drinks dispersed for everyone. Soda pops and Clamato, which Go and I had come to believe was an affectation of Tanner's, a quirk he thought would give him character, like my wearing fake glasses in college. Then Go and I sank down into the leather sofa, Betsy sitting across from us, uh, her legs pressed together to one side, like a slash mark. Pretty professional. Pretty slash professional. Tanner paced behind us, listening. Okay, so Nick, Betsy said. I'll be frank, yes? Yes. You and TV, aside from your bar blog thingy, the whodunit.com thingy last night, you're awful. There was a reason I went to print journalism, I said. I see a camera and my face freezes. Exactly, Betsy said. You look like a mortician, so stiff. I got a trick to fix that, though. Booze? I asked. That worked for me on the blog thingy. That won't work here, Betsy said. She began setting up a video camera. Thought we'd do a dry run first. I'll be Sharon. I'll ask the questions she'll probably ask, and you answer the way you normally would. That way we can, that way we know how far off the mark you are. She laughed again. Hold on. She was wearing a blue sheath dress, and from an oversized leather purse, she pulled a string of pearls, the Sharon Schreiber uniform. Tanner? Her husband fastened the pearls for her, and when they were in place, Betsy grinned. Oh, it is raining. That's dope. Of course, Nick would wear fake glasses to make himself look smart. Yeah, they talked about that, and I was like, like, when/if I eventually get LASIK, I might still keep my glasses. I might just wear them like fake wise, but like Nick, it's different because he doesn't require glasses. For me, it's a look that I have developed. Like it's kind of like seeing Hannibal right now, Hannibal Buress. He got his eyes fixed and doesn't wear glasses anymore, but he has this distinctive look with the glasses, and now it's weird to look at him without them. uh, so he sometimes just wears fake glasses. I think to make people feel more comfortable. And I asked my mom about me getting LASIK, and she was like, your birth father wore fake glasses, just with the lenses popped out or whatever. And I was like, that does not surprise me. I wonder if he actually needs them. Or if he actually needs them, rather. Let's see. Her husband fastened the pearls for her, and when they were in place, Betsy grinned. I aim for absolute authenticity, aside from my Georgia accent and being black. I see only Sharon Schreiber before me, I said. Well, thank you for telling me she had a Georgia accent 2 pages in to her being on screen. Well, I'll give her a little accent now. She turned the camera on, sat down across from me, let out a breath, looked down, and then looked up. Nick, there have been many discrepancies in this case, Betsy said in Sharon's plummy broadcast voice. Oh, now she doesn't have the accent. Okay. Nick, there have been many discrepancies in this case. To begin with, can you walk our audience through the day your wife went missing? Here, Nick, you only discussed the anniversary breakfast you two had, Tanner interrupted, since that's already out there. But you don't give timelines, you don't discuss before and after breakfast. You are emphasizing only this wonderful last breakfast you had. Okay, go. Yes. I cleared my throat. The camera was blinking red. Betsy had her quizzical journalist expression on. As you know, it was our 5-year anniversary, and Amy got up early and was making crepes. Betsy's arm shot out, and my cheek suddenly stung. What the hell? I said, trying to figure out what had happened. A cherry red jelly bean was in my lap. I held it up. Oh, I see. Every time you tense up, every time you turn that handsome face into an Undertaker's mask, I am going to hit you with a jelly bean, Betsy explained, as if the whole thing were quite reasonable. Oh, cool. Okay, so in the movie, because Tanner's wife isn't a thing in the movie, Tanner's the one that throws the jelly beans at him. And that's supposed to make me less tense? It works, Tanner said. It's how she taught me. I think she used rocks with me, though. They exchanged, "Oh, you," married smiles. I could tell already. They were one of those couples who always seemed to be starring in their own morning talk show. Now, start again, but linger over the crepes, Betsy said. Were they your favorites? Or hers? And what were you doing that morning for your wife while she was making crepes for you? I was sleeping. What had you bought her for a gift? I hadn't yet. Oh boy. She rolled her eyes over to her husband. Then be really, really, really complimentary about those crepes, okay? Uh, and about what you were going to get her that day for a present, because I know you were not coming back to that house without a present. We started again, and I described our crepe tradition that wasn't really, and I described how careful and wonderful Amy was with picking out gifts. Here, another jelly bean smacked just right of my nose, and I immediately loosened my jaw. And how I, dumb guy, definitely play up the doofus husband. Definitely play up the doofus husband stuff, Betty advised. Was still trying to come up with something dazzling. It wasn't like she even liked expensive or fancy presents, I began, and was hit with a paper ball from Tanner. What? Past tense. Stop using fucking past tense about your wife. I understand you and your wife had some bumps, Betsy continued. I probably shouldn't have used an accent there because she's pretending to be. It just keeps going in and out of it. I understand you and your wife had some bumps, Betsy continued. It had been a rough few years. We'd both lost our jobs. Good, yes, Tanner called. You both had. We'd moved back here to help take care of my dad, who has Alzheimer's, and my late mother, who had cancer. And on top of that, I was working very hard at my new job. Good, Nick, good, Tanner said. Be sure to mention how close you were with your mom, Betsy said, even though I'd never mentioned my mom to her. No one will pop up to deny that, right? No Mama Dearest, Sonny Dearest stories out there. No, my mom and I were very close. Good, said Betsy. I mentioned her a lot then, and that you own the bar with your sister. Always mention your sister when you mention the bar. If you own a bar on your own, you're a player. If you own it with your beloved twin sister, you're Irish. Go on. And so it all built up. I started. No, Tanner said. It implies building up to an explosion. So we had gotten off track a little, and I was considering our 5-year anniversary as a time to revive our relationship. Recommit to our relationship, Tanner said. Revive means something was dead. Recommit to our relationship. And how does that yes. That's good, okay. Revive means something was dead. Recommit to our relationship. And how does fucking a 23-year-old figure into this rejuvenative picture? Betsy asked. Tanner lobbed a jelly bean her way. A little out of character, Bets. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm a woman, and that smells like bullshit. Like, mile away bullshit. Recommit to the relationship, please. That girl was still in the picture when Amy went missing. Women are going to hate you, Nick, unless you suck it up. Be upfront, don't stall. You can add it on. We lost our jobs, we moved, my parents were dying, and then I fucked up. I fucked up huge. I lost track of who I was, and unfortunately, it took losing Amy to realize it. You have to admit you're a jerk and that everything was all your fault. So, like what men are supposed to do in general, I said. Betsy flung an annoyed look at the ceiling. And that's an attitude, Nick, you should be real careful on. What's this book about? Gosh, I don't even know how to summarize it. We're almost done with the book. But I guess basically it's about someone's wife who goes missing, and he has to look into it and solve I basically have to summarize the whole book. Amy is Nick's wife, and she faked her death, and now she's hiding, and Nick is trying to not go to jail because Nick is a piece of shit. Let's see. Amy Elliott done. Okay, Amy. Higher. Okay. Amy Elliott done. 9 days gone. I am penniless and on the run. How fucking noir. Except that I am sitting in my Festiva at the far end of the parking lot of a vast fast food complex on the banks of the Mississippi River, the smell of salt and factory farm meat floating on the warm breeze. It is evening now. I've wasted hours, but I can't move. I don't know where to move to. The car gets smaller by the hour. I am forced to curl up like a fetus or my legs will fall asleep. I certainly won't sleep tonight. The door is locked, but I still await the tap on the window, and I know I will peek up and see either a crooked-toothed, sweet-talking serial killer, wouldn't that be ironic for me to actually be murdered, or a stern, ID-demanding cop, wouldn't that be worse for me to be discovered in a parking lot looking like a hobo? The glowing restaurant signs never go off here. The parking lot is lit like a football field. I think of suicide again, how a prisoner on suicide watch spends 24 hours a day under lights. An awful thought. Oh, I didn't know that. That makes sense. My gas tank is below the quarter mark, an even more awful thought. I can drive only about an hour in any direction, so I must choose the direction carefully. South is Arkansas, north is Iowa, west is back to the Ozarks. Or I could go east, cross the river into Illinois. Everywhere I go is the river. I'm following it, or it's following me. I know suddenly what I must do. And that's the end of the Amy chapter. It's just a page. It's barely even a page. Nick Dunn, 10 days gone. We spent the day of the interview huddled into the spare bedroom of Tanner's suite, prepping my lines, fixing my look. Betsy fussed over my clothes, then go trim the hair above my ears with the nail scissors, while Betsy tried to talk me into using makeup, powder, to cut down on shine. We all spoke in low voices because Sharon's crew was setting up outside. The interview would be in the suite's living room, overlooking the St. Louis Arch. Gateway to the west. I'm not sure what the point of the landmark was, except to serve as a vague symbol of the middle of the country. You are here. You need at least a little powder, Nick, Betsy finally said, coming at me with the puff. Pardon me, I keep burping. Your nose sweats when you get nervous. Oh, sorry, she has an accent here. She's not pretending to be Betsy. Or she's not pretending to be the other girl whose name I forget. The show that they're going on. Sharon. Let's see. Georgia. No. You need at least a little powder, Nick, Betsy finally said, coming at me with the puff. Your nose sweats when you get nervous. Nixon lost an election on nose sweat. Tanner oversaw it all like a conductor. Not too much off that side, go. Oh, this is Tanner, okay. Not too much off that side, go, he'd call. Bets, be very careful with that powder. Better too little than too much. We should have Botoxed him, she said. Apparently Botox fights sweat as well as wrinkles. Some of their clients got a series of underarm shots before a trial, and they were already suggesting such a thing for me. Gently, subtly suggesting, should we go to trial? Yeah, I really need the press to get wind that I was having Botox treatments while my wife was missing, I said. Is missing. I knew Amy wasn't dead, but I also knew she was so far out of my reach that she might as well be. She was a wife in past tense. Good catch, Tanner said. Next time do it before it comes out of your mouth. At 5 p.m., Tanner's phone rang, and he looked at the display. Boney. He sent it to voicemail. I'll call her after. He didn't want any new bit of information, interrogation, gossip to force us to reformulate our message. I agreed. I didn't want Boney in my head just then. You sure we shouldn't see what she wants? Go said. She wants to fuck with me some more, I said. We'll call her. In a few hours. She can wait. We all rearranged ourselves, a mass group reassurance that the call was nothing to worry about. The room stayed silent for half a minute. I have to say I'm strangely excited to get to meet Sharon Schreiber, Go finally said. Very classy lady, not like that Connie Chung. I laughed, which was the intention. Our mother had loved Sharon Schreiber and hated Connie Chung. She'd never forgiven her for embarrassing Newt Gingrich's mother on TV. Something about Newt calling Hillary Clinton a bitch. I don't remember the actual interview, just our mom's outrage over it. At 6 p.m., we entered the room, where two chairs were set up facing each other, the arch in the background. The timing picked precisely so the arch would glow, but there would be no sunset glare on the windows. One of the most important moments of my life, I thought, dictated by the angle of the sun. A producer whose name I wouldn't remember clicked toward us on dangerously high heels and explained to me what I should expect. Questions could be asked several times to make the interview seem as smooth as possible and to allow for Sharon's reaction shots. I could not speak to my lawyer before giving an answer. I could rephrase an answer, but not change the substance of the answer. Here's some water. Let's get you mic'd. We started to move over to the chair, and Betsy nudged my arm. When I looked down, she showed me a pocket full of jelly beans. Remember, she said, and tisked her finger at me. Suddenly the suite door swung wide, and Sharon Schreiber entered, as smooth as if she were being borne by a team of swans. She was a beautiful woman, a woman who had probably never looked girlish, a woman whose nose probably never sweat. She had thick dark hair and giant brown eyes that could look doe-like or wicked. It's Sharon, Go said, a thrilled whisper to imitate our mom. Sharon turned to Go and nodded majestically. Came over to meet us. Let's see. Can you tell me if she has an accent? Because I need to prepare for that shit. FF7R made me thirsty for Jesse, but I've always been thirsty for Jesse. So it's the IE and then the E. So, hey. Oh, dang. Did you raid me, Sam? Well, hello. How are y'all doing? Marita Gone Girl. I'm trying to figure out if Sharon has an accent, and I don't think so. Because when... oh, fuck, what's her name? Betsy. When Betsy was imitating Sharon, they didn't talk about an accent. And in default, Betsy has a Georgian accent, so I don't fucking know. Yeah, but I only had like 2 people, and I'm good. Been streaming since 5:30. Oh shit, damn. Well, you've been at it. Well, time to relax and let me soothe you with my dulcet tones. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Streamlabs is negging you. Like, only brought 2 people. Whatever. It's not a raid, but it's important to me. So thank you. I appreciate it. Hello, if you're new. Yeah, no, I've been editing Grant's Final Grantasy, and so I've been getting some looks at FF7. I don't know anything about Jessie, but she is very cute. I wanted to teach me the punch good. I'm gonna eat dulcet brownies and listen to dulcet tones. Hell yeah. I was at my friend Yoav's virtual birthday party yesterday. The Living Tombstone. He makes internet music. I love Yoav. He's one of my favorite people. But so we all just like got together and played Jackbox and stuff in a big Discord call. And I happened to have cake because another very good friend of mine, who lives in Philly, he baked me a cake, which is so sweet. Because he checks with me if I need anything at the market while he's out. Pardon me. And I told him, and then he comes over with a mask and we stand outside and he drops off my stuff and texts me that I am here, and then we stand 6 feet apart and catch up a little bit. Uh, it was really sweet. It was just like, I made you a cake, and I was like, what? Yeah, hell yeah. Why? He was like, just felt like it. Because I have very good friends. But so I was eating a cake, and Yoav did not even have cake, and it was his birthday party. But I was like, I'm eating this cake, and I'm thinking of you. As we're playing Jackbox. That's sweet. Yeah, it was really nice. I'm really grateful because I don't know. I took some time when I moved to Philly. I'm totally taking a break from reading for a second. I apologize, but I moved to Philly kind of on a whim, and I kind of isolated. I self isolated before it was cool. Um, I just kind of stayed to myself a bit, and I felt. I don't know if lonely is the correct word. Eventually, I felt lonely. It felt really good to like be on my own for a while because this is something I needed to do something spontaneous that was all my own, you know. Um, and I'd broken up with a partner and we were living together, and it was this thing where I was relying on them too much, and that felt bad. I didn't like that, and I needed to get out on my own. So I kind of made the decision to move to Philly within like a couple days. I came down, I looked at places, and I was like, cool, moving, and I just did it. And so I needed some time to just be on my own, and that felt good, but eventually it leads to a little feeling of loneliness because no one was really, and none of my local friends rather, were really seeking me out. I didn't feel wanted, if that made sense. Um, but then these friends being like, I had like a long conversation last night with Yoav after everyone else had gone to bed, and it was really nice to catch up. And uh, and my friend Mark, who brought me the cake, and also my friend Stefan, who Team Four Star Stefan. Um, we're talking more, and I feel good. I feel wanted, which is really nice after isolating myself for so long. Because I forgot that people care about me, if that makes sense. Like I knew it, but also there's a little part in your brain where you're just like, I need to be on my own for a while. So coming back to my friend group was very dope. Damn, we're almost through the book. It's very exciting. I haven't finished a book on my own since like senior year of high school. Not even. Maybe like sophomore year of high school. That feels good. I can hear it raining outside. I fucking love rain. Oof. Love it. I'm just like hearing it. It makes me very happy. Okay. Amy Elliott Dunn. 10 days gone. I have made a call to make a call. The meeting can't happen until this evening. There are predictable complications. So I kill the day by primping and prepping. I clean myself in a McDonald's bathroom, green gel on wet paper towels, and change into a cheap, papery sundress. I think about what I'll say. I am surprisingly eager. The shithole life was wearing on me. The communal washing machine with someone else's wet underwear, always stuck in the rungs at the top, to be peeled out by hesitant, pincered fingers, the corner of my cabin rug that was forever mysteriously damp, the dripping faucet in the bathroom. Oh yeah, and if you've just come into this, Amy got robbed of like all the rest of her money, so now she had to. She said that she knew what she had to do, and now we're finding out what that means. So she made a call because the first sentence says, "I have made a call to make a call." At 5 o'clock, I began driving north to the meeting spot, a river casino called Horseshoe Alley. It appears out of nowhere, a blinking neon clump in the middle of a scrawny forest. I roll in on fumes, a cliche I've never put to practice, park the car, and take in the view. A migration of the elderly, scuttling like broken insects on walkers and canes, jerking oxygen tanks toward the bright lights. Sliding in and out of the groups of octogenarians are hustling, overdressed boys who've watched too many Vegas movies and don't know how poignant they are, trying to imitate Rat Pack cool in cheap suits in the Missouri woods. I enter under a glowing billboard promoting, for 2 nights only, the reunion of a 50s doo-wop group. Inside the casino is frigid and close. Oh, inside the casino is frigid and close. The penny slots clink and clang, joyful electronic chirps that don't match the dull, dripping faces of the people sitting in front of the machines, smoking cigarettes above dangling oxygen masks. Penny in penny in penny in penny. Oh, I see. Penny in, penny in, penny in, penny in, penny in, ding, ding, ding. Penny in, penny in. That's a tongue twister I wasn't expecting. The money that they waste goes to the underfunded public schools that their bored, blinking grandchildren attend. Penny in, penny in. A group of wasted boys stumble past, a bachelor party. The boys' lips wet from shots. They don't even notice me, husky and hamel-haired. They are talking about girls. Get us some girls. But besides me, the only girls I see are golden. The boys will drink away their disappointment and try not to kill fellow motorists on the way home. That's really interesting that you get to, Amy has been the girl that everyone looks at all the time, and now, with the haircuts and the glasses and everything, just no one's looking at her for the first time. I wait in a pocket bar to the far left of the casino entrance, as planned, and watch the aged boy band sing to a large, snowy-haired audience, snapping and clapping along. Shuffling gnarled fingers through bowls of complimentary peanuts. The skeletal singers, withered beneath bedazzled tuxes, spin slowly, carefully, on replaced hips, the dance of the moribund. The casino seemed like a good idea at first, right off the highway, filled with drunks and elderly, neither of whom are known for eyesight. But I'm feeling crowded and fidgety, aware of the cameras in every corner, the doors that could snap shut. I'm about to leave when he ambles up. Amy? I'm keeping you on the edge of your seat. Who is it? Who is it? I've called devoted Desi to my aid and abet. Desi, with whom I've never entirely lost touch, and who, despite what I've told Nick, my parents, doesn't unnerve me in the slightest. Desi, another man along the Mississippi. I always knew he might come in handy. It's good to have at least one man you can use for anything. Desi is a white knight type. He loves troubled women. Over the years, after Wickshire, when we'd talk, I'd ask after his latest girlfriend, and no matter the girl, he would always say, "Oh, she's not doing very well, unfortunately." But I know it is fortunate for Desi. The eating disorders, the painkiller addictions, the crippling depression. He is never happier than when he's at a bedside. Not in bed, just perched nearby with broth and juice and a gently starched voice. Poor darling. Now he is here, dashing in a white midsummer suit. Desi changes wardrobes monthly. What was appropriate for June would not work for July. I've always admired the discipline, the precision of the Collings costuming. He looks good. I don't. I am too aware of my human glasses, the extra roll of flesh at my waist. Amy. He touches my cheek, then pulls me in for an embrace. Not a hug. Desi doesn't hug. It's more like being encased by something tailored just to you. Sweetheart, you can't imagine that call. I thought I'd gone insane. I thought I was making you up. I daydreamed about it, that somehow you were alive, and then that call. Are you okay? I am now, I say. I feel safe now. It's been awful. And then I burst into tears, actual tears, which hadn't been the plan, but they feel so relieving, and they fit the moment so perfectly that I let myself unravel entirely. The stress strips off me, the nerve of enacting the plan, the fear of being caught, the loss of my money, the betrayal, the manhandling, the pure wildness of being on my own for the first time in my life. I look quite pretty after a cry of about 2 minutes. Longer than that, and the nose goes runny, the puffiness sets in. But up to that, my lips get... That's interesting. That might be a typo. My lips gets fuller. I think that might be a typo. My lips gets fuller, my eyes bigger, my cheeks flushed. I count as I cry into Desi's crisp shoulder. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. That river again. That river again. And I curb the tears at 1 minute and 48 seconds. Even counting out her tears, goddamn. 325, I gotta write that down. Oof, that is... I'm sorry I couldn't get here earlier, sweetheart, Desi says. I know how full Jacqueline keeps your schedule, I demur. Desi's mom is a touchy subject in our relationship. He studies me. You look very different, he says. So full in the face especially, and your poor hair is... He catches himself. Amy, I just never thought I could be so grateful for anything. Tell me what's happened. It's interesting, I'm not sure... Like, I don't know if this is an insult or not, you know? To say so full in the face, it's very... I can't tell if he's, like, not meaning. I think he means it as kind of an insult. Because the way he was talking to Nick, it's the only context we've had for how he speaks before. And, this Desi is very different from movie Desi, so it's something I'm trying to maneuver. I'd heard he was more of a creep in the book, so... I tell a gothic tale of possessiveness and rage, of Midwest steak and potato brutality, barefoot pregnancy, animalistic dominance, of rape and pills and liquor and fists, pointed cowboy boots in the ribs, fear and betrayal, parental apathy, isolation, and Nick's final telling words, "You can never leave me. I will kill you. I will find you no matter what. You are mine." How I had to disappear for my own safety, and the safety of my unborn child, and how I needed Desi's help. My savior. My story would satisfy Desi's craving for ruined women. I was now the most damaged of them all. Long ago, back in boarding school, I'd told him about my father's nightly visits to my bedroom, me in a roughly pink nightgown staring at the ceiling until he was done. Desi has loved me ever since the lie. Oh, come on, man. You lied twice? That sucks. I know he pictures making love to me, how gentle and reassuring he would be as he plunged into me, stroking my hair. I know he pictures me crying softly as I give myself to him. Wait, did they not have sex in high school? Maybe not. Maybe they didn't. Because this makes it sound like they never had sex. I don't know. Let's see. Because I do want to write down that she lied not once but twice about rape. That sucks. Because like I've talked about it, and like the movie version of Amy is so much more likable. There's an element of like, there's an element of, God, I'm so uncomfortable. I'm just trying to remember what I was gonna fucking say. The sex scene feels uncomfortable with 3 question marks. Yeah, it's very weird. But I guess like some guys are like that. Like I've met them where they are just like very white knighty, and it gets them off to be like, I'm taking care of this woman. I feel like a provider. Yeah, this is very weird. This is. I know he pictures me crying softly as I give myself to him. Is a bad sentence. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like that sentence. Um yeah, just for a guy to be so, this is such a different Desi than the movie, and I'm just trying to separate them because this Amy is also a very different Amy than movie Amy, and I'm trying to figure out these moving pieces and figure out like what is reality, you know? Because I don't want to think about Amy, movie Amy, while I'm reading the book, because this is a different Amy. This is a much more conniving, manipulative Amy, and I didn't think that was possible. But like, you know, she treats rape like seasoning for a story. Yeah, that's what's so upsetting about it. Is like anytime that something is difficult, she's like, "I was molested" or something, and it's like you can't do that. You can't, because that just delegitimizes actual assault. Uh, but she's just insane. Like this, like Amy is way more mentally fucked up in the book than she is in the movie. Because in the movie there are different ways to read it because we never fully get Amy's perspective. Uh, but this is it's bad. It's bad. I don't like it. Let's continue. But yes, let's talk about Desi. Let's talk about Book Desi. Book Desi is way more of a white knight because in the movie Desi is doesn't seem that bad. Movie Desi, the first time we hear about him is when they're talking. The Elliots are talking about possible suspects, and they're like, "Yeah, Desi like took a bunch of pills and tried to kill himself on Amy's bed naked in high school, and was like, uh, what's the word? Committed, submitted to a mental hospital. Committed. I think committed is the right word. So we get a prom picture of a 17-year-old Neil Patrick Harris, and then that's it until Nick goes to visit Desi, and Desi doesn't even let him in his house in the movie. That's how different movie Desi is to book Desi. Book Desi is much more of a creep because we're going into all this detail about like, you know, Desi being such a white knight. In the movie, I genuinely believe that like Desi's more like oh, you know what? That's probably what they did. I was about to say that, you know, the girl that Amy sets up who was her friend in high school, and then she moves on with her life and is like, I don't want anything to do with this. I feel bad, whatever. I think they didn't include her in the movie, and I think they kind of combined Desi with her because in the movie, Desi genuinely plays to me like a guy who, I can't go too in detail about it because I don't want to spoil things that might be happening in the book. But he genuinely, to me, kind of seems like he knew that he had some problems in high school and he's trying to get past them. Uh, yeah, see you, Sam. Have a good night. Thank you for the raid. Desi just seems like in the movie he's trying to move on with his life, and then Amy comes back into his life, and he's like, okay, well, I do like. I didn't think I'd ever hear from you again. This is great. Because in the movie, I don't believe that they keep in contact. We hear that Desi sends her letters, and I don't think Amy answers any of them. But I think it's easy for Desi to fall into bad habits. Movie Desi, at least. This one, like I said, I had heard that Desi is more of a creep in the book, but very much so. Who? Oh, God, I'm sorry. I love that rain. It feels so good. All right. Um, I can't ever go back to my old life, Desi. Nick will kill me. I'll never feel safe. But I can't let him go to prison. I just wanted to disappear. I didn't realize the police would think he did it. Oh boy. I glance prettily toward the band on stage, where a skeletal what's this word? Septuagenarian. Septuagenarian. I think so. Septuagenarian is singing about love. Not far from our table, a straight-backed guy with a trim mustache tosses his cup toward a trash can near us and bricks, a term I learned from Nick. Oh, and bricks, a term I learned from Nick. I think that means he didn't. It's either it was good or bad. I don't know if he like makes it or doesn't. Basketball. I wish I'd picked a more picturesque spot. And now the guy's looking at me, tilting his head toward the side in exaggerated confusion. If he were a cartoon, he'd scratch his head and it would make a rubbery work sound. For some reason, I think he looks like a cop. I turn my back to him. Nick is the last thing for you to worry about, Desi said. Give that worry to me and I'll take care of it. He holds out his hand, an old gesture. He is my worry keeper. It is a ritual game we played as teens. I pretend to place something in his palm and he closes his fingers over it and I actually feel better. No, I won't take care of it. I do hope Nick dies for what he did to you, he said. In a sane society, he would. Well, we're in an insane society, so I need to stay hidden, I said. Do you think that's horrible of me? I already know the answer. Sweetheart, of course not. Yeah, this is creepy that he is calling her sweetheart so much. Like, this is not in the, it's not in the book. Or, sorry, the movie? What am I saying? Oh, yes, okay. Desi in the movie Desi does not say sweetheart, and the amount of sweethearts is alarming. Because Desi slips into this so easily. They barely. But then I also, if Book Amy has been keeping in contact with Book Desi, then it does make sense that he would slip into this so easily as like a comfort thing of being like, hey, we know each other, you know. It's just interesting. I'm trying to keep up with who's doing what, who, when, where, and why. When you've already seen the movie, you know. And he does. He believes Amy. He believes that Nick is this monster. And believe me, Nick is a piece of shit, but he's not trying to kill Amy. I mean, now he is. But that's understandable to a degree. Let's see. Right, okay, so Amy has just said, well, we're in an insane society, so I need to stay hidden. I said, do you think that's horrible of me? I already know the answer. Sweetheart, of course not. You are doing what you've been forced to do. It would be madness to do anything else. He doesn't ask anything about the pregnancy. I knew he wouldn't. That's interesting. Wonder why. And I also can't remember if Amy says that she's pregnant in the movie. To Desi, at least, you know. Ugh. My throat. It's so easy to lose my place because there's just a lot of dialogue in a row. You're the only one. Oh, you're the only one who knows, I say. I'll take care of you. What can I do? I pretend to balk, chew the edge of my lip, look away, and then back to Desi. I need money to live on for a bit. I thought about getting a job, but oh no, don't do that. You are everywhere, Amy. On all the newscasts, all the magazines. someone would recognize you. Even with this, he touches my hair, new sporty cut of yours. You're a beautiful woman, and it's difficult for beautiful women to disappear. Unfortunately, I think you're right, I say. I just don't want you to think I'm taking advantage. I just didn't know where else to. The waitress, a plain brunette disguised as a pretty a plain brunette disguised as a pretty brunette, drops by, sets our drinks on the table. I turn my face from her and see that the mustached, curious man is standing a little closer, watching me with a half smile. I am off my game. Old Amy would never have come here. My mind is addled by Diet Coke and my own body odor. I ordered you a gin and tonic, I say. Desi gives a delicate grimace. What? I ask, but I already know. That's my spring drink. I'm Jack and Ginger's now. Then we'll get you one of those, and I'll have your gin. No, it's fine. Don't worry. Of course. Oh my god. This is such a different Desi. It's so what is I'm just a little shocked, I guess. Yeah, that's probably why Desi isn't asking about the pregnancy. Is she probably said that it was against her will or something. That makes sense. And Desi probably doesn't want to bring that up. Yeah, but a girl suffering is like porn to Desi, which is like, if he can save her, it's like that's what gets him off, which is creepy and not a trait that movie Desi shares, which is interesting. Whew. I love taking off my glasses because that feels so much better. Yeah, I hope I can get LASIK soon because not only are my eyes very bad, but also it would just improve my workload a shit ton because I also uh wearing headphones, you gotta like take them off every once in a while and shit. Yeah, Amy hates people. She hates everyone she's ever met. She is a big narcissist. Definitely not as big of a narcissist, or rather, she's much more of a narcissist than movie Amy. And this guy, this Desi, is unrecognizable. Um, for the Neil Patrick Harris one, that is way more likable because he's played by Neil Patrick Harris. Uh, Him playing this guy, I would have loved to see though. I'm still picturing him just like pompous, just being like, "That's my spring drink. That's my spring drink. I'm Jack and Ginger's now." The Looky Loo appears again in my peripheral. Is that guy with the mustache? Don't look now. Is he staring at me? Desi gives oh, nope, not into that voice. Desi gives a flick of a glance, shakes his head. He's watching the singers. He says the word dubiously. You don't just want a little bit of cash. You'll get tired of this subterfuge. Not being able to look people in the face, living among. He spreads his arms out to include the whole casino. People with whom I assume you don't have much in common, living below your means. That's what it is for the next 10 years, until I've aged enough and the story has gone away and I can feel comfortable. You're willing to do that for 10 years? Amy? Shh, don't say the name. Kathy or Jenny or Megan or whatever, don't be ludicrous. The waitress returns and Desi hands her a 20 and dismisses her. She walks away, grinning, holding the 20 up like it's a novel. I take a sip of my drink. The baby won't mind. Yeah, no, it's interesting because like Nick is very judgmental of like women. Every woman that Nick has come in contact with, he has described her breasts or like her as in what how attractive she is. And Amy is very mean, but in a different way, which is interesting. Just like I'm smarter than everyone. And that's book Amy specifically. Well, actually, no, she's mean. She's mean in the movie also to people, but like the degree of which is like very intense in the book. Let's see. How long we've been going? Almost 4 hours. Damn. It's a novel. I take a sip of a drink. The baby won't mind. I don't think Nick would press charges if you return, Desi says. What? He came by to see me. I think he knows that he's to blame. Wait, he went to see you? When? Last week, before I talked to you, thank God. Nick has shown more interest in me these past 10 days than he has in the past few years. I've always wanted a man to get in a fight over me, a brutal, bloody fight. Nick going to interrogate Desi, that's a nice start. What did he say? I ask. How did he seem? He seemed like a top drawer asshole. He wanted to pin it on me. Told me some insane story about how I'd always liked that lie about Desi trying to kill himself over me. Oh shit. He had truly been devastated by our breakup, and he'd been really annoying, creepy, hanging around campus, hoping I'd take him back. So he might as well have attempted suicide. What did Nick say about me? I think he knows that he can never hurt you now that the world knows and cares about who you are. He'd have to let you come back safely, and you could divorce him and marry the right man. He took a sip. At long last. Holy shit. Okay, I gotta write that down. Because that is not said in... it's not said that she lied about the suicide attempt. In the movie. So I just thought that was true for years. All right. I can't come back, Desi. Even if people believed everything about Nick's abuse, I'd still be the one they hated. I was the one who tricked them. I'd be the biggest pariah in the world. You'd be my pariah, and I'd love you no matter what, and I'd shield you from everything. Desi says, you would never have to deal with any of it. We'd never be able to socialize with anyone again. We could leave the country if you want. Live in Spain, Italy, wherever you like. Spend our days eating mangoes in the sun, sleep late, play Scrabble, flip through books aimlessly, swim in the ocean. And when I died, I'd be some bizarre footnote, a freak show. No, I do have pride, Desi. I'm not letting you go back to the trailer park life. I'm not. Come with me. We'll set you up in the lake house. It's very secluded. I'll bring groceries and anything you need, anytime. You can hide out all alone until we decide what to do. Desi's lake house was a mansion, and bringing groceries was becoming my lover. I could feel the need coming off him like heat. He was squirming a little under his suit, wanting to make it happen. Desi was a collector. He had 4 cars, 3 houses, suites of suits and shoes. He would like knowing I was stowed away under glass, the ultimate white knight fantasy. He steals the abused princess from her squalid circumstances and places her under his gilded protection in a castle that no one can breach but him. That's really interesting. In the movie, Amy comes to him, and I'm pretty sure she's like very on board with the lake house. Like she doesn't. I don't know if she asks for money. I have to watch the movie again. But it's definitely it doesn't seem as desperate for Desi to you know convince her to go to the lake house in the movie. I can't do that. What if the police find out somehow and they come to search? Amy, the police think you're dead. No, I should be on my own for now. Can I just have a little cash from you? What if I say no? Then I'll know your offer to help me isn't genuine. That you're like Nick and you just want control over me however you can get it. Desi was silent, swallowing his drink with a tight jaw. That's a rather monstrous thing to say. It's a rather monstrous way to act. I'm not acting that way, he said. I'm worried about you. Try the lake house. If you feel cramped by me, if you feel uncomfortable, you leave. The worst that can happen is you get a few days rest and relaxation. Damn, no, Desi is very manipulative in the book. Damn. The mustached guy is suddenly at our table, a flickering smile on his face. Ma'am, I don't suppose you're any relation to the Enloe family, are you? He asks. No, I say and turn away. Sorry, you look like some. We're from Canada. Now, oh shit. We're from Canada. Now, excuse us. Dizzy snaps, and the guy rolls his eyes, mutters a geez, and strolls back to the bar, but he keeps glancing at me. Ooh, I read that wrong. With the wrong heat. I didn't put so much heat behind it because in the movie, Desi is very polite, and when this happens, he's like, "Sorry, we're from Canada. Excuse us," and he's very polite about it. And in here, Desi is book Desi's kind of has a temper. Very interesting. We should leave, Desi says. Come to the lake house. I'll take you there now. He stands. Desi's lake house would have a grand kitchen. It would have rooms. I would traps around in. I could hills are alive twirl in them. The rooms would be so massive. The house would have Wi-Fi and cable for all my command center needs, and a gaping bathtub and plush robes and a bed that didn't threaten to collapse. It would have Desi too, but Desi could be managed. At the bar, the guy is still staring at me less benevolently. I lean over and kiss Desi gently on the lips. It has to seem like my decision. You're such a wonderful man. I'm sorry to put you in this situation. I want to be in this situation, Amy. Ooh, she does not do that in the movie. We are on our way out, walking past a particularly depressing bar, TVs buzzing in all corners, when I see the slut. The slut is holding a press conference. Andy looks tiny and harmless. She looks like a babysitter, and not a sexy porn babysitter, but the girl from down the road, the one who actually plays with the kids. I know this is not the real Andy, because I have followed her in real life. In real life, she wears snug tops that show off her breasts and clingy jeans, and her hair long and wavy. In real life, she looks fuckable. Now she was wearing a ruffled shirt dress with her hair tucked behind her ears, and she looks like she's been crying. You can tell by the small pink pads beneath her eyes. She looks exhausted and nervous, but pretty. Prettier than I'd thought before. I never saw her this close up. She has freckles. Oh shit, says one woman to her friend, a cheap Cabernet redhead. Oh no, I was actually starting to feel bad for the guy, says the friend. I have crap in my fridge older than that girl. What an asshole. Andy stands behind the mic. Man, they just don't know how to spell mic in this book. When it's microphone, it's MIC, which is like not something everyone knows, but like if you're proof checking a book, I feel like you know these things. That's like the third misspelling of it. Let's see. It's probably something they just didn't catch, and then the book came out, and they were like, "Oops! Oh well, no one's gonna know." But I know. I'm a voice actor. Oh, is it Trapes? That makes sense. Thank you. I appreciate that. I want to know how to pronounce things. Yeah, they stood behind the Michael, like, because it says Mike. Andy stands behind the mic and looks down with dark eyelashes at a statement that leaf shakes in her hand. Her upper lip is damp. It shines under the camera lights. That's why you use powder. She swipes an index finger to blot the sweat. My statement is this. I did engage in an affair with Nick Dunn from April 2011 until July of this year, when his wife, Amy Dunn, went missing. Nick was my professor at North Carthage Junior College, and we became friendly, and then the relationship became more. Oh, shit. Andy stops to clear her throat. A dark-haired woman behind her, not much older than I am, hands her a glass of water, which she slurps quickly, the glass shaking. I am deeply ashamed of having been involved with a married man. It goes against all my values. I truly believed I was in love. Oh, she begins crying. Her voice shivers. With Nick Dunn, and that he was in love with me. He told me that his relationship with his wife was over, and that they would be divorcing soon. I did not know that Amy Dunn was pregnant. I was cooperating with the police in their investigation in the I am cooperating with the police in their investigation in the disappearance of Amy Dunn, and I will do everything in my power to help. Her voice is tiny, childish. She looks up at the wall of cameras in front of her and seems shocked. Looks back down. 2 apples turn red on her round cheeks. She begins sobbing. And her mother, that woman has to be her mother, they have the same oversized anime eyes, puts an arm on her shoulder. Andy continues reading. I am so sorry and ashamed for what I have done. And I want to apologize to Amy's family for any role I played in their pain. I am cooperating with the police in their Oh, I said that already. She smiles, a weak, embarrassed smile, and the press corps chuckle encouragingly. Poor little thing, says the redhead. She is a little slut. She is not to be pitied. I cannot believe anyone would feel sorry for Andy. I literally refuse to believe it. I am a 23-year-old student, she continues. I ask only for some privacy to heal during this very painful time. Good luck with that, I mutter as Andy backs away and a police officer declines to take any questions, and they walk off camera. I catch myself leaning to the left as if I could follow them. Poor little lamb, says the older woman. She seems terrified. I guess he did do it after all. Over a year he was with her. Slime bag. Desi gives me a nudge and widens his eyes in a question. Did I know about the affair? Was I okay? My face is a mask of fury. Poor little lamb, my ass. But I can pretend it is because of this betrayal. I nod, smile weakly. I am okay. We are about to leave when I see my parents, holding hands as always, stepping up to the mic in tandem. My mother looks like she's just gotten her hair cut. I wonder if I should be annoyed that she paused in the middle of my disappearance for personal grooming. When someone dies and the relatives carry on, you always hear them say, so-and-so would have wanted it that way. I don't want it that way. My mother speaks. Our statement is brief, and we will take no questions afterward. First, thank you for the tremendous outpouring for our family. It seems the world loves Amy as much as we do. Amy, we miss your warm voice and your good humor, and your quick wit and your good heart. You are indeed amazing. We will return you to our family. I know we will. Second, we did not know that our son-in-law, Nick Dunn, was having an affair until this morning. He has been, since the beginning of this nightmare, less involved, less interested, less concerned than he should be. Giving him the benefit of the doubt, we attributed this behavior to shock. With our new knowledge, we no longer feel this way. We have withdrawn our support from Nick accordingly. As we move forward with the investigation, we can only hope that Amy comes back to us. Her story must continue. The world is ready for a new chapter. Amen, says someone. Ooh, damn. I feel like we have 1 or 2 sessions left, but I'm going to end it there for tonight. This has been super fun. Thank you all so much for the follows and shit. Stretch. Thank you for hanging on Easter. I don't know if y'all had plans, but I'm glad you spent it with me instead. Ditched your family. I'm sure everyone's gone to bed at this point, so it's not a huge big deal. But thank y'all so much. I think check below for the stream schedule, but like, let's see. No, you can't end on an Amy chapter. Yeah, I normally wouldn't, but you know, we've been going for 4 hours. That's pretty dope. Uh, I'm glad y'all are getting into it though. It makes me very excited. Let's see. I'm looking at the stream schedule because I think April 12th. Okay, I don't have a next one done or put on the schedule rather. But the next stream I believe is going to be Tuesday because today is Sunday. Technically Monday because we're past midnight. But yeah, I will redo the stream schedule and I will see y'all Tuesday. I think we just have like 2 more sessions of this, and then I think I'll be going back to Stardew Valley. But yeah, this is super fun. Thank y'all. Wash your hands. Stay safe. Thank you for the stream. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate y'all, and I'll see you later. Have a good night.